Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Friday night relationship show. Hold up. Let's go. Got my brother Calvin in.
We come nice with it. I'm starting to hold my own. 24 bottles, I'm in my zone. Starting to feel like rappers is clones. Get your girlfriend, she's attached, I'm on the road. Always calling my phone. Just got a text from her, she's so alone. Put my feelings aside, I'm getting thrown. In the book, just reminiscing on feelings, it's getting old. History's in the making. I'm done with all of y'all faking. Ego, my ego big as a basement. Mixtape dropped, I can tell I'm making a statement. Shawty look like Rihanna. And to the groove, she switch it up to Madonna. Back then, I used it as a reminder. But I ain't sweating it like a sauna. Hardest flow on the record. Suckers want me on records. Living life is a blessing. Probably settle down when I meet a chick off the Essence. Not really my preference. Ray-Bans looking crisp, caught me a Lexus. Sometimes I see you put in the effort. You want me as your man, I'm like, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do. It's Friday, and we got to kick it off with the shout-outs. Shout out to my brother-in-law. But hold on, we got Miss Leslie being the first one popping up on the scene tonight. Unheard of, that's what I'm talking about. Good to see you, Miss Leslie. Shouts out to Tiff Trey in the building. Thank you for coming through, Tiff Trey. Shouts out to Miss Marissa in the building. Good to see you, Miss Marissa. And once again, brother-in-law, good to see you. And then she said, Miss Leslie said she had to make herself some popcorn. She must be feeling it tonight. She must know that something's going to pop off tonight or something, huh? Huh? Is that what it is? Shout out to my son Willie Bars on that song. That's just an intro song that I always play. We're gonna get some new songs out here for y'all to play. But I have my guests. Shimmy is a co-host, and then we have our guest Marky Mark in the building. And you never know, he may like it and start coming on as well. Shouts out to Yummy Gummy in the building. So what'd you say, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then we got brother-in-law. My brother-in-law said checking in from the D tonight. So y'all in Detroit, brother-in-law? Man, they get their travel on, him and my little sister. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, so anyway, as we kick it off, we're gonna see if we have sweet cousin G pop on as well. And during this time of the podcast, I just want y'all to know as well is that you guys can pop on as well if y'all want to add to the conversation or want to speak your truth or speak whatever. Y'all can come on. I will be popping up the what do you call it? The link. So dang, yeah, brother-in-law, y'all have fun, man. I've never been to Detroit actually, so y'all have fun. Make sure y'all send me some pictures, brother-in-law. All right. Miss Leslie say hi, Shimmy, and hi, Marky Mark.
Hello, Leslie. How are you this evening? Hey,
Yeah.
Leslie.
So now, as we kick this thing off, right? This is Conversations in Crete with usually my cousin Sweet Mama G and Kelvin, and also DJ XL. But today, also including our special guest, Marky Mark. All right. Now, it's going to be a great night, and we want to hear from the women. Actually, we want to hear from the women. And as a matter of fact, let me pop up the what the topic is tonight. Boom! What women say men have to work on. We want to hear what y'all say that men have to work on. That's exactly what we want to hear tonight. Now, are you guys going to be good? I'm talking about, okay. Brother-in-law said business trip. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And Yummy Gummy said, I'm here, Shimmy. You and XL can pick all you want. you know what? Everybody's gonna have thick skin tonight as usual. So punctuality. Yes. You know what? Tonight it was supposed to begin at 10, but y'all gotta realize sometimes it get crazy with me, and I am all over the place sometimes. But you know, we here, and when we here, we make it happen. All right. So now, I'm gonna give my cousin a chance to come on, but we are going to start the show now. Um, okay, so here we go. Now, first of all, communication. Okay, so the ladies already started it off, guys. Uh, Yummy Gummy said, um, Yummy Gummy said, men, we need to work on our punctuality. And then you guys agree with that?
Well, can I jump in?
Sure, go ahead.
Let me ask, punctuality on what? Or does it vary or depend on how important the situation is? Should the brother be punctual just anytime, every time, all the time, or does it depend? And what if other things come up that are higher priority or more important?
Hmm. Okay. Good questions. You're asking. Go ahead, Shimmy.
Uh, Mr. Mark, you have a very valid point, but that punctuality that was tended towards something else.
Okay.
That's the running joke on the show. The punctuality that has nothing to do with the men overall being punctual. That's a subliminal message, being a sarcasm that's going on the show. So the punctuality we struggle in punctuality in some areas, but overall, men we always on time.
Thank you for enlightening me.
Yes, sir.
So maybe it could have been a shot towards me. It could have been.
Oh,
It
oh,
could have
we
been.
taking cheap shots.
Yeah. Started, and like I told you, this is thick skin night. Thick skin. Remember, fellas, thick skin. Um. So Yummy Gummy said crickets. All right. Now we have Miss Marissa said communication. Do you guys think that we can work on communication, or the men can work on communication better?
You want me
Let's
to jump
start
in?
off. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
It goes back to what I said on the first question, or on the first stab at the question or the issue. Communication on what? Communication about what? I mean, is that the woman is feeling like that we're not hearing her? Because communication is two-way. So is she feeling like that she's not being heard, or is she feeling like we're not sharing? And if we're not sharing, what if we're not ready to share?
When you say sharing, Mark, can you put a little bit more enlightenment behind it? I
Yeah.
think I know what you're saying, but just so to make sure that the audience know.
Yeah, let's say the woman says that you're not communicating with her. What if you're not ready to share, and she's calling that a lack of communication or an inability to communicate? But it's not that you don't have the desire to communicate. It's just you feel like you want to set the time at which you communicate whatever it is that is important, not have it set for you.
Okay. Great comeback, actually. What about you, Shim? You got something to put on that?
Men never have a problem with communicating. What's understood don't need to be explained. We not Men don't want to go back and forth. We say something one time and that's it. There's no need to keep going back and forth, trying to dissect the situation. Being straightforward, transparent is key. So men communicate well. Maybe you're not getting the interaction that you want. Maybe you're not getting the longevity of an argument that you want. Maybe there's something missing, but men don't have no problem communicating because we communicate with just facial expressions, body language. We communicate all kind of ways. We communicate by going sitting in the corner picking up the remote. So communication has never been a problem with a man. We communicate when we want to get your attention. When we first approach, we communicate then. But when we start getting on our nerves, that communication starts shutting down.
Okay.
Let me
Shimmy,
piggyback off that. Let me
go
piggyback off
ahead.
the brother because
Go ahead.
I can feel what he's saying. Because we're not communicating the way the woman wants us to, does not mean we're not communicating. Nor does it mean that we're communicating wrong or incorrectly. Now, I think that women need to recognize that men. I'm gonna piggyback off or dovetail off what the brother just said because he made a good point. I think women need to realize that men communicate differently. So just because we're communicating differently does not mean that we're not communicating. What if you don't know how to read the signs and the signals and the indicators and the nonverbals?
Okay. Now, like from my view, sometimes of communication, a lot of times women don't understand men. That's why a lot of times when we're on here, a lot of the women may say, "Oh, I agree with so and so." Of course, we're going to say some things that you agree with, but if you ever notice, a lot of times, like a real true man, most women will not agree with what he's saying or what he wants. They're just not going to agree with it. You see what I'm saying? They're not meant to agree with it. He's the leader. He's going to lead the situation. Sometimes, and we make mistakes, and it's absolutely 100% okay to listen to what your mate has to say because she may be making a good valid point or a good decision on something, but it's up to you to make the final decision because she may see something that you don't see. But as far as communication, us as men know exactly what we mean. It's just that a lot of women can't process what we're saying and being able to take it in. So, what just happened? Hold on one second. Um, hold up. I got a lot of comments to catch up on. Um, Now, Miss Marissa said, "Stop running from their problems." Do any of you guys recall the last time y'all was running from y'all problems?
Run from them. If I
I run
ran
at
from 'em, I
them.
wouldn't. Exactly. If I ran from 'em, I wouldn't be a man. Listen, like Sweet Mama always tell me, I don't know what kind of women you meeting, Kelvin. Well, Miss Marissa, I don't know what kind of man you meeting running from problems. Because guess what? You got to deal with them sooner or later. And it's better to go ahead and jump on top of it right away. If you can't handle it right away, it's gonna stay on a man's mind. It's gonna stay in the back of his mind. A man is gonna men don't run from problems. Like Mark said, we don't run from problems. I mean, it's listen. You can find fault in men all day. We're practical. We're simple. We're easy. We're easy to get along with for the most part. It's cut and dry with us.
What about this? What if the woman is the problem?
Mm.
So, do we run or do we stay with you and work through it? Now, it's not run. What are you considering running? Let's define some running. If you considering us walking away because we don't want to hear it, or because we don't want to argue with you, you feel me? Or because we don't want to go there, or because it doesn't make any sense, it's not productive, or because it won't get us anywhere, or because we don't just want you screaming in our ear, is that running? So let's define running, brothers and sisters. What are we talking about when we say running? What do you mean running? Because maybe the sisters have a different idea on what they consider running. Maybe they consider running that we just don't want to sit there while you stand in front of the TV and just argue with us about something that could have been resolved 3 hours ago. What?
Can I ask you something, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
You are. You married.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How
Happily.
long? How long you been married? Huh?
I'm not gonna say but a good time, a good while. In other words, I'm older than I
Okay.
look,
Okay.
maybe. But
No.
yeah.
No. 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 No.
But
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But
That's
but
good. That's good.
yeah. And and my wife's parents were married. It's interesting. We haven't been married as long as they were. My wife's parents were married 46 years. My parents were married
Wow.
54 years.
Mm.
So together we got 100 years of behavioral examples total. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to my wife. She doesn't tell me that I have communication problems. She also doesn't tell me that I run because I don't run from anything. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to run because that's not going to fix it. That's why I asked the question about what are these women meaning when they're saying that the man is running, because is it their definition of running or is it actually running? Because I don't run. We hit it head on. You know what I'm saying?
But hey,
Locomotion,
but
baby. I mean, like the train. Chugga, 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 chugga,
but
chugga,
then
chugga.
my question is when you stand there and go back and forth with them, then you sassy.
And if you don't, you running.
I can't
So,
win.
so what we supposed to, here's the thing. Okay, if I may, brothers and sisters, sometimes, ladies, y'all just nagging, and we don't want to hear it. Sometimes you say we running, but you ain't saying nothing. What are you saying? The same thing that you said an hour ago. You just want to say it louder now, and then you want to stand in front of the TV after that and say it, and then you want to say you ignoring that we're ignoring you. Now, get this. Let me preface this, okay? I'm not saying that my wife does any of that because my wife doesn't do any of it. None of it. Okay, none of it. And we have good communication, and she would tell you, but I'm saying that from the experience of having been a licensed marriage and family therapist or in the past, or having been a licensed professional counselor and talking with hundreds, if not thousands, of women, men, and couples. The same issues keep popping up over and over again. He running. He don't want to listen to me. He not communicating. Well, if you screaming at him, why he want to? He's communicating. He's saying, I don't want to hear it. If he's walking away, he's communicating, like the brother said. He's communicating. I don't want to hear it. Maybe he can't deal with it right now. So when you force it on him walking away should not be construed as him running away. That's what I'm saying. Can I
Okay.
get an amen on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Hold up. You know what? You know what?
Amen.
All
I
right.
got one question, but go ahead, Creed. I got one question for you, sir.
Music brand. Go ahead, my brother. We're doing a relationship
You
show
want me to go
tonight.
ahead?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So we got thick skin, right? We got thick skin tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finna see how thick it is. Mikey Mark,
Yes, sir.
would you let your wife come on the show and pick on me?
No. One, I wouldn't have to let her or not let her because she's not gonna do it. But secondly, if because we got this, we have standards, we have decorum. You know what I'm saying? We have respect. She doesn't know you to pick on you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when she picks on you, that's a reflection of, I'm going deep, going deep, going deep.
Go, keep going, keep going.
Hit the drill. When she picks on you, that's not just a reflection of her, that would be a reflection of me. Do you follow what I'm saying? So we have standards. She wouldn't have to not let me hit on her girlfriend or her friend because I wouldn't be trying to hit on her friend. You follow me? So I think as we have these standards, like the brother said, I don't know, ladies, I don't know what kind of men y'all meeting. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a male and a man. Okay.
Brother-in-law just kicked some truth. He just said, "Man, punctuality is a family thing for y'all, Crete." Laugh out loud. I swear it is. We got to work on it. But go ahead. He's talking about that's my brother-in-law, Mark.
Man,
But
they slamming you hard on that punctuality.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I ain't gonna go there because I don't know them like that. So I ain't gonna go there. But you
Okay.
know, yes, sir. But what I'm saying, oh, no, sir. But what I'm saying is that, you know, a woman's idea of running might be a man's idea of walking away to keep the peace. It might be a man's idea of him walking away to regroup. You know what I'm saying?
You
Now
know,
I'm
I've
not
seen
saying,
that. Yeah, no, I've
yeah.
seen that. I've seen that's true.
And they used to tell men, in the counties around Atlanta, they used to tell men, If the woman start acting crazy, what they say? Before the police get called, what they say? Just walk away. Just walk away. Just walk away.
Right.
Okay. So somehow that got translated into the man is running from the woman or running from the issue. But if we stay there and just hear it, what are you bringing? You know what I'm saying? If you bring in anger, you bring in animosity, you bring in negative energy, you bring in frustration, you bring in baggage or luggage enough to fill up a Delta airplane. You know what I'm saying? You bring in resentment, you bring in what your girlfriend's man did to her, and your girlfriends who are in the can't get a man, can't keep a man club are telling you about, then what are we supposed to do? Just sit there and hear it? Now, fortunately, I've been blessed to where I don't have to deal with that. But that does not mean that I did not date women in the past where I got my share of having to deal with that. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I sure did. And I didn't run. Maybe some of them I should have ran away from. Quick, run away from that mouth. Pow. Okay. But that tongue, and not in a good way. But I walked away because men know when it's time to just walk away and leave you in whatever kind of stupor or whatever kind of frustration or whatever kind of issues or whatever kind of mental thing you got going on or emotional thing or hormonal thing you got going on. Men know just how to just walk.
All right.
And
Now,
I haven't had to do
Can
that
I
in
ask
my
you a
life.
question?
hold
Yes,
on
sir.
one
But
second, y'all. Hold on one second. Make don't lose your question, Shimmy. I'm going to put up the link so that because I was asked to put up the link, and maybe some of the ladies want to pop on and comment on what you guys are saying. So here's the link, y'all, right here, live on YouTube. Here's the link. Hold on one second. What is that thing doing? All right, there's the link right there. So y'all can click on the link and come on. Go ahead, Shimmy. What you wanted to ask him?
Mike and Mark, can I ask you a
yes, sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
It is it possible? I'm over 50. So is it possible, being that I've never been married? Is it possible that I can learn about marriages since I was 10 years old and have a pretty much real grasp of what's going on in the marriage? I've lived with a woman. I've lived with two women for a very long period of time. So is it possible that I can know enough about marriage to talk about relationships?
Well, my thought on that is two both. Let me give you both sides of the coin. You can know, but some things still stay head knowledge, and I don't mean that in a crazy way. Some things stay intellectual knowledge until we actually experience it. It's one thing to live with a woman; it's another thing to be married to that woman. It's not just a piece of paper.
What's
It's
the
not just a
difference?
ring.
What,
Okay, it's not just a piece of
what what's
paper. It's
what's the
not.
difference?
I'm gonna tell you. It's
What,
not
what,
just a.
what's
It's
what's the difference? What's the difference
He great.
between living with a woman for 10 years and being married to a woman for 10 years?
a lot of things without getting into the spiritual side of it of what the Bible says about matrimony and all that. Okay, that's one issue. Okay, but I'm not going there. It's because then people will think I'm being judgmental. I'm not, so I'm not going there. Another element is in the woman's mind when the man and the woman are married, she perceives it as different than just when they're living together. The law
Nate.
perceives it. The law perceives it as different because the level of responsibility and the level of authority in relationships. I don't know where I popped off. I don't see me.
No,
Okay.
you
Wait away.
still there. You still there.
Okay.
I was trying
Gotcha.
to bring
Gotcha.
Miss Leslie, something happened to your camera. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Okay. So the level of legal authority is different. The level of responsibility is different because the legal authority comes along with the legal responsibility. So, in a woman's mind, the perception of living together versus the perception of marriage is a whole different thing. A lot of women, it's easy for them to live with a man, but when they marry a man, it's something different. It becomes formalized, it becomes quote unquote official. And then if there's a breaking up, there's a difference too, because then the division of assets, the division, I mean, the children, the man's right to see his children without being, I mean, if he's not legitimated. Basically in our country, the man doesn't have hardly any rights if he's not legitimated. But like the judges say,
Right.
but the right to pay child support. So whatever kind of, in a way. But so there are several differences, but the biggest difference outside of spiritual difference is how the woman perceives it. She knows that that you've gone to the next level. Now, let me say this real quick. I got a friend, my wife has a friend right now who she was brought up, her parents were married, not my wife's parents, but her friend's parents were married like 50 years. And she was brought up to say, okay, she's not gonna live with a man, but she's gonna marry him. Okay. But she got with this dude and she was so into him and he's so into her that she just threw that out. And they've been together for like, I don't know, 12 years and they're not married. Okay. So then it becomes a matter of what did your upbringing teach you to do? Because if one person, man or woman, is actually going against their upbringing, then that presents a problem too. So she was taught that she should, get with a man and they should be married. I'm not saying that to judge anybody. I'm just saying that's what she was taught. Apparently, he had a different idea. So you got two different ideas trying to make them come together and work. You follow what I'm
All right.
saying?
Yeah.
That's
One
gonna
more
cause a
question, Crete.
problem.
Go
Crete.
ahead.
One more question.
Go
But
ahead.
when you say I want to get back to the being married with the authority aspect in there. Where would the authority aspect? Now we know the man can lose everything, and we know it's formal and all that. But where would the authority? Can you break that part down a little bit quick for me?
Without getting into the spiritual area, or
Yes, sir.
get or
Boss.
going there. Get
Okay.
without the spiritual area or with it. Which one?
The authority. Well, when you say there's an authority involved aspect in being married,
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, but I'm saying, do you want me to go to the spiritual area of the authority,
I
or
would.
do you want me to go outside of that?
I want you to go inside because I was raised in the my family is very religious. I was raised in the Bible,
Okay,
so
gotcha. Okay,
that's fine.
okay, okay.
And
So yeah,
and
I
we
just want to make it sound. I just want to make it let people know I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just answering a question that was asked. Okay. So in the spiritual area, the if you go to at least those who follow the Bible, it says the man has not authority over his own body, but the woman, and the woman has not authority over her own body, but the man. Okay. Now that's in a marriage situation, which was supposed to reflect the marriage of the Messiah to the church, the husband to the bride. Okay, so the marriage is supposed to be a reflection of that's supposed to be a covenant reflection of that. So my point is that there is an authority that the man has over the woman's body, and there's an authority the woman has over the man's body. Okay, that does not exist by spiritual law, at least for those who follow the Bible. That doesn't exist if they're not married. Okay. But that's not to judge anybody. Then there's the issue of roles and clearly defined roles, whether it's, custom or whether it's our ancestors and the roles they had when we had strong families. They used to call it, the white man would call it the nuclear family. The white European Caucasian would call it the nuclear family. Man, woman, husband, wife, 2.5 kids, whatever, or 2.3 kids, whatever that is. Okay. So I guess it's one that's not all there. But still, the roles were defined. Now, if you get outside of those roles, let's leave the Bible alone for a second. When you get outside of that, then everybody goes a free for all, and everybody's open to define their roles any kind of way they want to. And that's what's happening now. You got men who don't work. PlayStation is not a job. It's not.
right.
It's never been a job. You don't work for Sony. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
So you got so you got men who don't work, and you got males who are masquerading as men, but they're actually little boys, and the woman having to take care of him. That's not right. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Now that's I can leave the Bible alone and go back to African culture. I can go back to African tribal culture and ancestry and ancestors. Okay. So
Now,
that's not, you had roles that were defined for a purpose. Neither role was less than the other one. But
right.
then
And
this
see, that's
but
the thing though, Mark. That's the thing. as you said, things are so messed up now. I mean, nobody knows their role anymore. Everybody's trying to be the boss.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And it clashes. It's just not going to work. That's why people look at me like I'm crazy when I speak about traditional marriages. You see what I'm saying? It's
They're
unheard
like,
of
what's
to
that?
a lot of these people. Hmm?
They say they thinking when they look at you funny, they're thinking, what's that? Or I don't want
Yeah,
to do that, or that's outdated, or my mama did that and that didn't work, or my
right,
daddy did that and didn't work, or somebody cheated on somebody. But that doesn't mean, because you have a flat tire doesn't mean that tires don't work.
right, right.
Because your brakes go out doesn't mean that brakes don't work. It just means yours went out. So that doesn't
And
mean all the rest of us should take the brakes off our car because your brakes went out.
now
You hear what
Nate
I'm
Can
from
I
saying?
say
upstate.
something?
Right, right. Nate from upstate is in the building over here on Instagram. Shouts out to everybody on Instagram, and also my brother, Too Slick for them. Saying Luke Mark saying talk to him, mister. Let's go. You see what I'm saying? So shouts out to you on that, Marky Mark. And then hold on. Well, I just heard Miss Leslie say, could you what you want to say, Miss Leslie?
Well, I agree with what Mark is saying. To a degree, I think that they're like what he was saying about, arguing or whatever, and then walking away. Sometimes it's important to walk away and get perspective of what's happened. And, if you just stay there and go back and forth, that doesn't get anybody anywhere. And
Okay.
also, yeah. So I think it just, like he was talking about, more traditional ways. It goes back to supporting each other, being there for each other, the king and the queen, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I agree
Let
with
me
what you're saying.
yeah, so let's take it to the comment section real quick. Hold up, we got my big sis in the building. Hey, big sis, I didn't even see you in there. The comments has been going crazy, so I've been trying to catch up. Hello, Miss Christine. Oh, Miss Christine on the screen. I missed that one. Uh, okay, and we have shouts out to Heather Lukeman. Thank you so much for coming through, Heather Lukeman. If you can please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so it can notify you every time we come on. But Heather Lukeman said, please, every single one of you gentlemen need to follow and listen to that link I just sent you. It will sum it all up for you about the difference between a man's brain and a woman's brain. Okay. And you know what? Us open men on here, if we see the link, I'm sure that any of us would take a look. Be reasonable and take a look. Hey, yummy. And okay. Let me see. I'm just trying to catch up. AVSNX. Shouts out. Thank you for coming through. Also, Yummy asked Heather Lukeman, is she married? She said, not anymore. Been there, done that, wrote the book, and closed that chapter. I got my big brother, Craig, in the building. Good to see you, big brother. Tiff Trey said, amen. Let me see. Yummy Gummy also said, at Heather Lukeman. To a man, because you are bashing the men pretty hard. It's pretty hard to just wonder. I didn't see the bashing, but I'm sure I'll take your word for it. Because I can't even keep up with the what's names. But yes, if it's man bashing, we already had situations about bitter relationships. Sometimes bitter relationships could lead on to bitter gender connections, meaning that you could be bitter against a man because of what happened in the past. And that's not how we don't want to be like that. You can't live like that. It's unhealthy physically and mentally. Miss Marissa said, how is Marla doing? Dag, you know what? We have not seen Marla. I forgot. And then Tiff Trey said, amen, Mark. And shouts out to Maria in the building, said hello. We got that's Maria in the building. And then Heather Lukeman said, I'm telling you to understand a woman. I'm telling you to understand a woman and the way we think differently. Then you watch the link I sent you. Simple as that. Okay, we are open to watch the link, but women need to understand how men think. How would you expect to have a head and you want us to understand you? We cannot put ourselves in a mental feminine mindset, because that's exactly what that is. That's just like us as men, we doing what we do, and you said, hey, put yourself in my shoes. I don't wear heels. I am not going to put myself in a mind state of a woman. We're not built for that.
I got a
But
question.
go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Why is there an assumption by women that we don't understand you? Some of us understand you. Now, we might not tell you we do, or we might not let on that we do, but believe and know this. Some of us understand you. So let me break it down real quick, just as a little bit of proof. Obviously, men are supposed to be more logical, more rational. Women are supposed to be more emotional. That's why women are more nurturing than men. When you put the two together, you got the combination that completes the whole. But watch this: women very often act emotionally because they have the estrogen and the progesterone. That's a hormone. I'm just going biochemical with it, just as proof. Men have the testosterone. That's why two guys on the basketball court, it gets out of hand and they're friends, and one gets a shot over the other one on the court, and next thing you know, there's a fight because there's an issue with testosterone and ego. Women usually can control ego better than men can. So women feel like that men don't listen as much because generally, not all, but generally, women are better listeners. They are the one that the child, while the dad, and this was way back, while the dad was out working or killing a dinosaur with a club or whatever, Fred Flintstone, all that. I'm making a little joke here to make a little light humor of it. Nobody's laughing, so my joke's not funny, so I ain't gonna tell no more jokes. But so while the man was out doing what he was doing, the woman was helping the child with the homework or doing or giving the child a bath. The child was telling the mom how school went today or how, summer camp went today. Moms tend to be, and women tend to be listeners. Okay. Men tend to be strong communicators. Now I'm an alpha male. So I had to learn because my wife is a beta female. So if I communicate with her the way I communicate with an alpha female, that's going to be a problem because she's not an alpha, and that's fine. She doesn't have to be an alpha. That doesn't make one of us better or less or more than the other one. I think that we got to learn to appreciate the differences instead of turning around and making those differences problems. So we started out by saying, when the woman perceives the man as running, the man doesn't perceive many times. I'm not saying all men now. The man doesn't perceive, the real men don't perceive what they're doing as running, but the woman perceives it as running. It's not about who's right or wrong at that point. It's about what's right and what will fix the problem. So who's going to be the grown up and who's going to take the lead? If nobody's going to be grown up, that's why we know, real men know, that we need to be taking the lead in setting the example and bringing us to the table, not trying to rule over you, but trying to say, look, let's come to the table and resolve this. We don't have to hash it out over 3, 4, 5 days. We don't have to have you stand in front of the TV or break something over our head. We don't have to leave it. We shouldn't have to leave the house in the middle of the night. I've taught when I counsel people, I would always hear men say, "She said I gotta go sleep on the sofa." The hell with that! I'm not sleeping on the sofa in my house. No, and I don't get in the dog house because I'm not a dog. I'm a lion. Rawr. So I don't sleep in the dog house. You see me buying flowers for my wife? It's not because I'm in the dog house because I'm not a dog. Okay. But my point is that, I think both sides want the other side to understand them, but both sides have a problem understanding the differences in the other person and why they're not like them.
Can I say something, please?
Amen.
Go ahead.
So the man is the lion, but the woman is the lioness. So it's like, well, I was married for 16 years, and my husband and I had a child that was disabled. We had to have good communication. But then again, there were some things that I had to do, and there were some things that he had to do. He was the alpha, but there were a lot of things that I had to do that he couldn't do. So, in some ways, I had to be an alpha too.
Can
But
I
you
say
know
this?
what? That happens. That happens, but it's not supposed to happen like that. And shout out to Brian Martinez in the
Right,
building.
right.
Good to see you. But it's not supposed to be like that. I grew up in
Nope.
a household where my father was the lion, and that's all I knew was the lion. You understand?
And
I'm
I
gonna
would,
use
I would,
terms on that term.
Can I
I,
tell
He
you
was the
something?
and,
lion.
Can I say
and,
something unique? Can I say something unique about the lion? Because
Yeah.
I didn't say all men are lions. I said I'm a lion. Some men are dogs. Some men are wolves. Some men are snakes.
Yeah,
And some women are. I ain't gonna go about the women because I don't want to open a can of worms. But the point I'm saying is that you know I'm not speaking for other men and what they are. You got some men who are lions, some men who are wolves, some men who are dogs. Okay. My point is that, and
Thank you, Nate.
here's the uniqueness about the lion and the lioness. Since she mentioned that, I want to address that real quick. Here's the uniqueness. We can appreciate the differences. If a lion and a lioness are together, they can appreciate the differences because guess what? The lion doesn't just protect the lioness, he protects that whole pride. He protects that whole household. You follow what I'm saying? He got to
yeah,
risk his life. If he got to risk his life, if another lion comes, I watch the Animal Channel, Nature Channel, all that. He got to risk his life if another lion comes in to challenge him to take over the pride. He got to risk his life and die out there in the battlefield without the lionesses. Okay, but this is not Lion King, the movie. But the lioness is unique because the lionesses go and hunt, and they hunt at night very often. The lionesses hunt. And so you have an alpha lioness as well who will go out there and she'll take a team, a hunting party, and they'll bring back whatever it is. The male usually does not hunt. The females hunt.
Now let
So
me
my
ask you a question. Let me ask y'all a question, right? And shouts out to Too Slick for them once again. Thank you so much, family, for coming in and joining us on Facebook as well. But I'm gonna ask y'all women, right? Have y'all ever felt like y'all life was in danger while going out and providing for y'all family? Miss Leslie, Miss Christina.
um, I mean, I was a single parent for a while, so, but no,
Okay,
no,
and,
because
and I'm gonna give y'all a little bit too. They have so
yeah,
many
I
grants out there for y'all that y'all ain't got to do it. When something go wrong with us, they have grants for men too, but it's harder for us to get grants. And when we go out, it's life or death. A lot of times, you see what I'm saying? It's even like me being self-employed. 9 o'clock, 9 to 5, and all that. No, it don't work like that to me. Every day I got to think about how I'm going to make this happen, and I got people relying on me as well. Right? You know what I'm saying? I got to think. Can you imagine having that mind every day? That mindset that you have to provide for yourself and others. It's nothing to play with, and I don't think a lot
yeah,
of women actually they don't experience that as much. Now I do know that a lot of y'all women are put in unfortunate situations where y'all have to provide, but it's
yeah,
different.
hey,
but mm,
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nowadays, women and men are programmed in survival mode. Women are programmed in being comfortable. A lot of
Boom.
times when women have to when they have to get uncomfortable, then this when you see a different side. This when you see what they made of. When they have to get uncomfortable, when they got to go out there and get it out the mud. A man is built on survival. A real man, he's always thinking survival first. Yeah, he might be running because he ain't got time to listen because he's thinking about survival. He thinking about if I get locked up tonight, I ain't gonna be able to go to work tomorrow and I might lose my job, then I can lose my crib. So I'm gonna run from this right here, right now. So a lot of times it's a whole different. Women are built on being comfortable. Men are built on survival. That's just the way it is. And when you say you had to step up, that's when you get married. I mean, I couldn't see anything else but to step up. I wouldn't even look at it as the alpha. You just stepped up. I mean, that's part of being in the family. That's part of being in the family. I mean, it
well,
I
you know
is
would
what it
what?
say
is.
Can I
with
say
my
something?
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. I agree with what you're saying. The unfortunate thing is when the uniqueness and traits and qualities of the man and the uniqueness and traits and qualities of the woman begin to compete against each other instead of them realizing that put the two together and you got the whole ball of wax. And that's what's
Right.
happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like an orange saying the woman is the orange, the man is the apple. The woman is saying, "Hey, I'm an orange, I'm orange," and the man is yelling, "No, I'm apple, I'm red." But see, you can have both at the same time because you need both. And so what's happening is people are the uniqueness in people is competing against the uniqueness in your partner, and it's supposed to complement, not compete. And that's what's happening.
I will
I say
say,
that all the time. I say it all the time.
was even when I was divorced, my ex-husband was always there for me because we had children together. So I can say yes, but I always had that. Um, he was always there, and
Let
that's
me ask y'all this. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
oh, no, I was finished.
I
All right.
feel I Hey
Go ahead.
Creek,
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I can feel what you're saying because not just as a man, but as an African American or a black man in America. I don't mean to sound like Tupac, and that's just the way it is. But it's just, I listen now. I growing up, I'll be 60 in 2 years. Okay. So I I didn't really listen to Tupac and a lot of hip hop and everything. You know what I'm saying? Early on. I mean, I listened to like Run DMC and all that, Grandmaster Flash way back, tell my age. But, as I started listening to that song, to the song about That's Just the Way It Is, it makes a whole lot of sense. I'm not saying that's just the way it has to stay. So some people need to kind of write the next step in that because all of that can, one thing's guaranteed is change. So, but, he says, he says, I never did a crime that I didn't have to do. Now,
Can I
I
say
work.
something?
Now I worked in law. Yeah, give me one second. I'm sorry, please. I worked in law enforcement, so I'm not talking about crime. My point is his mindset was that look, this is something. This system is set up to where it's biased against certain types of individuals who look like me or look like Crete or look like others. That's just the way it is. So knowing that every day, as Crete was saying, I'm just paraphrasing. Every day that affects my approach because I know what's coming at me. And that's not just to blame anybody or make excuses. That's just the way it is in this country. So we have to take approach in what we do, like the brother was saying, a minute ago. It's a survival thing because it has to. Nobody's going to look after us, look out for us. Nobody's going to baby us and just take care of us. And a real man's not looking for a woman who will baby him anyway. He's not going to
Right.
settle for that because that's not in his nature.
Right. Now go ahead, Miss Christina.
I just want to say I'm sick of being bullied in the comment section. I have a t shirt on, but look what time it is. It's midnight some places, it's 11 o'clock here. I'm wearing my PJs. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you.
Thank you, Miss Christina, for expressing
You're
yourself. So now, let me go to my big sis. She said, Marky Mark, I welcome you. You seem to be very seasoned and know how to speak about women without bashing or acting like and really don't have a clue.
Thank you.
And
But
also, go
you
ahead.
know what? Creek, I'll tell you something. What I learned from my parents, from my dad, who was married to my mom 54 years until the minute that my dad died.
Hmm.
Okay. I learned that if you want your wife to listen to you, then you're gonna have to start off. Lead the way. Don't just lead the way on what you want to do. You listen to her, and she's gonna be more apt to listen to you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not willing to do for her twice what you're willing to ask for her to do once, then why do you feel like that she should do it for you at all?
And that was pretty
Don't you
much
think?
what I was saying earlier. That's pretty much what I was saying earlier. However, um, you can't lose your way. Keep listening to the woman all the time because I mean, and that's no disrespect to women because you will lose your leadership. You will.
I can agree with that as well because that's the other side of the coin.
Hmm.
Adam was we go back to the garden, regardless of what people believe. Adam was given the vision and he was given the task. Eve was to come along and she was to help him with that.
Hmm.
Okay. So somehow that ended up in a struggle today in relationships to where I don't want to help you. I ain't gonna be a part of what, and that's not all women. I'm not gonna help you. I want to do my thing, you do your thing. Well, how can we be together and you do your thing, I do my thing? What if those two things clash or don't mesh? So it
Right.
goes
Isn't it
back to
important?
it's too much of us competing against the person who's supposed to be a complement to who we are.
Right. Thank you there, Mark.
Uh,
Nathan Upstate said that has nothing to do with the show. He's talking about I think the back and forth about the shirt or whatever. He said this show is good, like the lemon pepper chicken I'm eating rotisserie. Okay, Nate. But anyway, no. And then
We
also,
hungry.
yeah, Miss and shouts out to Miss Marl. I ain't even shout out. I didn't even know she was in the room. But shout out Miss
Hey,
Marl.
Mr. Marky Mark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, if if a man feels like, I don't care if I ever get married, is that a problem?
Well, it depends on who you're asking is that a problem for or with. I want to give you an example real quick. I had a one of my wife's other friends, and I'm not going to tell all her business, but one of my wife's other friends, I just talked to her friend about 2 days ago, and I said, "Wow, that dude, he stayed with you 5 years when he knew you wanted to be married. He knew you were getting older. He knew you wanted to have a family and kids. He knew you came from even though your mother and father were divorced, both your parents were in your life and involved. He knew you wanted that kind of thing and he stayed with you anyway. So I guess my answer would be it depends on who you asking. If the woman, now my thought is this, ladies, if you with a man and you want to get married, you got to see if y'all's ideals and your paths are headed in the same direction. If they're not, somebody wasting time, and he might be standing in the way of the man that you are needing to be with. Or vice versa. She might be taking up time and your money and cutting up slices out of the pie while you're trying to make the pie bigger, and she might be in the way of the person. I'm gonna tell you something. Before I got married, years and years ago, I'll just say that. Okay, years and years and years ago, I dated this lady. 20 years ago, I dated this lady, and she said, "You know what?" She said, I was interested in marrying her, and she had been married before, and she said, "I don't want to get married again." She said, Marky Mark. She didn't say Marky Mark, but she said Mark. Okay, so she said, "Y'all can call me Marky Mark." But anyway, she said, I'm getting you ready for the person who's going to be your wife, but it's not going to be me.
Hmm.
And I said, wow. Because I was with that lady for years hoping that we could get married. But she said she was not going to get married again. She had been married for like 15, 20 years in the past. She had like 4 kids and all that. She was done with that. Okay, I can understand that. But I was still hoping that that amount of time I could kind of change her mind. You know what I'm saying? And everything was good. But she said, "I'm preparing you for the woman that you are going to be with, and the woman I was going to be with is now my wife, and it's not
I,
that
I,
lady."
I like that. That's my new title. I'm single preparer.
Can
Mark,
I
can I
ask
ask you a
I ain't getting
question?
married. I'm a
Oh,
single preparer. I'm gonna prepare you to get married, ma'am.
But
Hmm.
isn't it?
no, don't use that as an excuse now. But my question is, are you what
Shout
you
out
you
to
know
Hugh
you
Lord
got
in
you
the
got to be.
building.
But bro, you got to be able to tell the woman what you got in mind, and the
Yeah.
woman got to be able to hold you to what you say you got in mind. Because if you don't have no plan for you, and you don't have no plan for you guys, then why y'all together? Where is it going? It's like getting in a car and just driving. You know what I'm saying? And there's no destination. And you're gonna put the woman in the car, not you, but a man who puts the woman in the car and just gonna drive and not tell her where he's going. He could be taking her to the desert to dig a hole and put her in. She doesn't know where you're going. So you're gonna have to tell her, level with the woman and tell her if she want to get married, you don't want to get married, say no, that's not me, or say I want to get married, but I don't want to marry you, or something, whatever you want to tell her. But communicate and let her know because she has a right to know because she's spending her time with you. And the same thing with women. Do not suck up the man's wallet. My name is Mark, not ATM. So do not
Can I
suck
ask
Okay.
a
up
question?
everything for the woman who is coming later, who will be a match for the man if you know you're not a match for the man.
I'm not sure where our cousin at Big Sis. She was supposed to show up. Oh, she said, "Where's your cousin and her boo?" Okay, as a matter of fact, you know what? I never thought about. I did. Sweet Mama and DJ XL is not here together. I
Mark, can
it,
I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
Isn't it important to? I'm sorry, did I interrupt you, Crete?
no. You good?
Um, isn't it important to have God in your life as a couple? Like, there are so many hard things in this world to go through. It's nice to have a higher power to turn to as a couple when you have hard times, don't you think?
It is. That's the God is supposed to be the glue. If you married, God is the head of the covenant. I'm just saying the way it is. Now you can be Muslim, you can be Hindu, you can be Christian, you can be Catholic, you can be Jew, a Jewish person, you can be in the Judaism, whatever. But if you don't have that glue, the man and the woman, because we have different background, may have different backgrounds, and what helped me and my wife is that we had such similar backgrounds. But if you got a different background from your husband or from the guy you with, your backgrounds are competing before you and the man ever start competing. Your backgrounds are already clashing. If you have one idea what love is, he has another idea what love is. Somebody got to be the glue. Something has to be the glue to come down the middle and say, no, this is actually what it is. Because I'm going to tell you, my thought is this: a coin doesn't have two sides. People always say heads or tails. A coin has three sides. The third side is the side like a quarter that you stand it up on the side and you see the ridges on it. That's the only way you can see both sides by realizing there's a third side. That third side comes right down the middle. And yeah, that's what God's gonna have to be. So, but here's the thing: different people have different ideas about God. So just because we use the same terms doesn't mean we mean the same thing because people communicate differently. So therefore, who God is and what place God should have in a person in a relationship is going to be one thing for one person and one thing for another person. If they can both agree, then they got the glue.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Christine.
So, Mark, how do you feel about people being compatible?
You know what? Somebody asked me years ago. They said, "Well, um, what about the Mister Right and the Miss Right?" There are a lot of combinations that will go with a person. If there was actually a Mr. Right and a Miss Right, that would mean there was one for one. There are many more women on this planet than men. So that would mean a whole lot of women would not have a man, okay, or would not have a relationship because it's not even numbers. So there are lots of combinations that make compatibility. But what happens is people get too busy, and this is brothers or men and women, they get too busy looking at the wrong thing. She's looking at certain things she shouldn't be looking at that are like tangible. She might be looking at material. She might be looking at how he's knocking it off in the bed. I'm just being real. It's after midnight, boys and girls. She might be she might be looking at how he's knocking it off, right? She might be looking at, what kind of money he has and things like that, what kind of house he has. He might be looking at how beautiful she is, which is going to change one day. He might be looking at, how the shape she has, which is going to change one day. So people start looking at the wrong things, and that those things cannot hold them. Those things are not glue. They're not strong enough to hold a relationship. So when the tangible things change, when he's not making that money, she's not comfortable. When she's not that same body type, he's not comfortable. Because see, they put the wrong things up front to try to build a relationship on. So my point is to you is that there are a lot of elements that make compatibility. And I think one of the things women can do, one of the first things women can do if they want to find, if they want to be with a real man or a good man, is they can watch how he treats his mom. If his mom is still living, watch how he treats his mom, and you're gonna get a glimpse of how he'll probably treat you.
And I bring that up all the time, Mark. Check out the parents.
That's it.
Check out how he handled his, like you said, his mom. When my mother was living, I made sure at to the best of my ability that I looked out for my mother. That's serious because that's your introductory of how you'll treat your wife.
That's it.
You see
That's
what
the
I'm
first
saying?
woman
So
you. That's the first woman you love.
yeah, so you got like y'all women pay attention. You know what I mean? Pay attention. So
Yeah.
we have Miss Marla said Mark speaking facts. And then my big sis said, Mark, I sure hope you come back always. You are truly speaking from experience, which is always best. Um, and Miss Marla said, Excel's in a doghouse. And she also said, yes, Mark, keep
Oh,
speaking. And Miss Marissa says, so why do some women like having a hair all over their heads?
a hair, a hair.
Why do women like why do some women like having a hair all over their heads?
We need to
Do
go
they
back to
mean?
kindergarten.
I mean, we talking like a buckwheat
Bruh.
alfalfa thing on the our gang in the morning or something. What's the hair? A hair, or can she type it in again? A, does she mean
No,
a
no,
hair
no,
all
no,
over?
no. That's what we do on. That's what some people do on the show best. They deflect. They like to deflect. Keep preaching, Mark.
Okay, okay. Thank you for enlightening me and correcting me.
Yeah, they
So,
deflecting.
because I didn't know, this is my first time on the great podcast. I'm enjoying it, and I didn't know why they threw that in. But it might be a little time to take a medication break for that person. I don't know what's going on. The medication might have expired. You can't
Hey,
take
Mark,
expired medication. Yeah.
Mark. See, hey, Mark, you think you slick.
What?
You think you slick. You
What
talking
I
about a
do?
joke. See, there's a little bit of truth in every joke. So I'm loving this, okay? So keep preaching, sir.
There is. There is. There's a little bit of reality in every joke. We just try to laugh
Every
at it
joke.
because it makes the truth easier to digest. That's what I'm saying. And so, I think that it's a productive discussion. I don't understand why somebody was picking at the young lady, listen, on my screen on the bottom left. I don't understand. Is it Christina? You Christina, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand what somebody was doing with the shirt, but I kind of get an idea it was what you just said, my brother, that they were just kind of, you know,
Yeah, they're not
going.
paying attention to you. They're just doing their own thing.
I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah.
how I gotta ask. I wonder how they're or somebody. Okay, everybody wants to be. If people can say they want to be alone, people can say I don't need no man, I don't need no woman. You're lying. People can say
Hmm.
they just scared. You're lying. You scared or you've been burned. And now let me say this: I didn't. I had relationships in the past, and I went through a lot of learning and making mistakes that I should have known not to make because of my parents' background. Okay, I should have known not. I'm the youngest of five children, so I should have known not to make them. All of my siblings were married. Well, many of them have passed now, but all of my siblings were married 30 years plus, like it
Mm.
was nothing, because that's all they saw. So sometimes when we're faulting each other, men and women, we got to step back and realize that person is acting out of the normalcy in their mind of what they saw. The pimp the prostitute swears that the pimp loves her because in her mind, that's what she saw somewhere down the line, and that same thing is what allowed the pimp to be a predator to get her in his his pot in the first place. Okay, so all I'm saying is, we I think there's a lot we can learn from each other. I know there's a lot I can learn from my wife. I listen to her because I want her to listen to me. I tell her what I'm going to spend over a certain amount. We have a little rule: over $100, you tell the other person. Which it's not asking permission. I'm grown. I don't have to ask permission, but it is our money, not my money, that I let her use. So
Hmm.
I think we need to be what we want If you want it, you need to be it, or you don't deserve to have it from
So,
the other
Mark,
person.
clear this up
That's
for others, right? Now, you said your money. Is that what you said? Or no,
No,
you
I
said
said
that
it.
you said no. You said you don't have to ask her basically how to spend your money.
No, I said it's not. No, it's not about being my money. I said it's our money.
Okay.
Okay,
But
but
you
we have.
before that
But
you said you didn't want to, I mean, you didn't have to ask her basically if you wanted
no,
to
I
buy
said I
something.
don't have to ask. I said I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to ask permission
Right.
because I'm not a child. Okay,
Okay.
so I don't have
So
to
how
ask
does that work?
permission
How does that work for you when you don't have to ask for permission, but then you say it's our money? What if
because
she
my
come in and counter react to what you're saying or what you're trying to
because
do?
well, one, she's gonna say the same thing. She's gonna say she don't have to ask permission either because it's our money. But then she's gonna revert back to the rule that we have for our household. If you're gonna spend over $100, see, that's the rule of our household that we both agree on. It doesn't matter who came up with the rule. It matters that we both agree on it. Okay. So therefore, if you spend it over $100, then you let the other person know. My point was that I'm not getting permission when I let her know. She's not getting permission when she lets me know. It's respect, it's courtesy, it's not one of us going to pay the Georgia Power bill and the $100 is not there. That can't be happening. So it's courtesy, it's respect, it's applying the same standard equally to both of us. But my point originally was that I don't have to ask because I'm not asking permission. I'm letting you know that I'm spending that. Now, on big purchases, because as you know, I bought a truck. I bought a F-150 truck, and they're quite pricey. On big purchases, one, I'm gonna take her with me, and two, I'm gonna ask her opinion on that because she might catch something that I'm missing. Two heads are better than one.
And
Okay,
I
so
said that earlier. Yes.
yeah. So I'm gonna take her with me. Of course, every time I take my wife with me to buy something, I end up spending much more than I would have spent if she didn't go with me because she added the luxury stuff in that I wouldn't have added. And then we end up spending more. But what I mean is that if both of us are working, both of us are working professionals. Okay. So that's our money. It's hers just as much as it is mine. Now watch this. Watch this. This is gonna throw y'all for a loop. Okay, about 7 years ago, I had cancer, and thank God they took it out. Okay, it's not in remission; they took it out. Okay, so for a time, she was bringing in everything. I could not work. I
Oh,
had stage. I could wait. Well, hold on. I had stage 3 colon cancer. I couldn't work. Period. Okay. And so, for even after they took it out, there was a long recovery period. So my point is that she was bringing in everything. I told her when we got married. I said, you know what? No matter. I said one day one of us may be carrying the load, the other one may not, but it's still going to still be our money. And so for years, those years, she covered all of it. But guess what? I told her, I said, you know what? As soon as I get well, I'm back out there. And when I got well, the pandemic hit, and she came home from her job, and I was covering the whole load. And so everything flipped. And so either way, it was still just as much our money, whether she was making all of it or I was making all of it. Because that's the balance that needs to happen in relationships. Once people
All right.
start ciphering off money and saying it's mine or it's yours or it's mine or it's yours, that's a problem.
Now,
I
Mark,
think the
ask yourself, be realistic.
Okay.
How many relationships you know that work like that now, and then how long you think it's going to last?
I know that my parents' relationship worked like that. I know that
Mhm.
okay.
my
Oh,
wife's parents'
okay.
relationship worked like
Let
that.
me
And I
hold on,
know,
hold on.
and actually, I
Because you
know.
because
I
you
wait.
seen it
Let
work.
me ask.
You
Let
seen
me
it
ask the
work, right?
question.
Hold
Let me
on.
ask the.
You seen it work, Mark. You seen it work, right? That's
Yeah.
why you. So I spoke on that. That's important to see it. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
people still see it, but don't know how to keep it. They don't know how to. They can do the opposite,
They
right?
don't know how to duplicate it or emulate it
Right.
or keep it
And
going. Yeah.
Mark.
it is, but to see it is beautiful, and to be able to hold it down is beautiful. So I see what you're saying. I mean, I see what you're saying, and you're right. But a lot of times people run into a snag, and I hope that never happens in your situation. And I've met your wife. I don't foresee it. You see what I'm saying? I think you guys are
Right.
going to do well. Y'all been together a long time, and that's a beautiful thing. So go ahead, Shimmy.
Hey, Marky Mark. Let's say
Yes,
this
sir.
right here. Let's say I go and buy a bike from Crete, and I'm married or with a girlfriend. Is
Which
he
one is it?
married
Wait, which one
or
is it?
with a living girlfriend?
Which one is it?
Let's say living girlfriend, because that's gonna make it for the so it can keep the audience attention. They like they
Okay.
love the
You're not
they love the just the
you're not
girlfriend
scared. You're
aspect.
not scared. You're not scared to jump the broom, are you? Don't be scared.
Oh no. But still, look, hey Mark, I'm a loner by nature, so
Okay.
I run from drama.
Okay. I hear
So
that.
yeah, so let's just say I'm in a relationship with a woman. She living with me. We going 50-50.
Right?
Okay, now you just gave me your scenario about how when you was up and you was doing your handling your thing, and then you went down and she took care of everything. Isn't
Right.
that the same kind of concept of 50-50 or what? Am I lost or something?
Well, my thought is 100-100 because some stuff won't work with 50-50. I'm all in. Now I feel like I can speak for her because she's told me this. That's why I'm speaking for her. I'm not putting words in her mouth. She's all in. You know what I'm saying? This is ride or die. You know what I'm saying? This
I
is
think the
this is this is we don't now. But I want to say before she says something, I want to comment about what Crete said because I feel what he's saying. That's hard. That's very hard to achieve. That's not the norm. It used to be the norm in our families, especially in the black family. It used to be the norm because people didn't just want each other; people needed each other. Especially pre-civil rights movement, they needed each other or they weren't gonna make it. So, now people just want each other. They don't really need each other like they used to. So I understand what Creed is saying that that's good, but that's not I'm not in a fairy tale marriage, but because I know a lot of people who actually fit within that same framework that my wife and I are in. But I know the majority of people will not. So I'm not judging anybody. All I'm saying is that yeah, it's hard, it's difficult when people didn't see that. Anything we didn't see, we not gonna duplicate because we don't know how. And that's me, you, anybody. So I was fortunate, but there are still traits within each person. And Christina was talking about compatibility. There are still traits within each person if they're picking a person for the right reason that will show compatibility and someone mentioned, I think Leslie was mentioning God as well. That is you got the if you have the glue and you have the traits. See, if I have an idea of love and the woman I'm with has an idea of love, and then what Leslie said comes in the mix, and you go down the middle and throw God in and say God settles it. That's the definition of love. Period. No matter what either one of us think, then you got
Marriage is threefold. It's
it is.
threefold.
So you got
And
some kind of, yeah, I'm not, you got some kind of glue, but then like Christina said, they brought this together nicely. Like I don't know if they knew they were doing this or not, but you can't just have that. You got to have compatibility too. You got to have somebody listening and somebody talking and both people not talking at the same time. You got to have people with the similar goals, similar enough to where they're headed down the same path. They don't have to be on the same sidewalk block at the same time, but they got to be on the same path going in the same direction. So there's enough that we can find if people look hard enough and choose for the right reasons, there's enough that people can find even if they didn't have parents who were married that long or parents who were married at all. I've seen couples like that do it and make it too.
one of
I'm
the
just
absolutely.
key
about
words
people
you
making it,
said.
making it happen.
Now, Miss Marla said you have to compromise. Compromise has been popping up a lot on the show, but it's always in a relationship. Period. You yes, or marriage, you have to compromise. Sometimes, even when I speak, some people think I'm not trying to compromise. Yeah, of course I compromise. I compromise through business. I compromise through relationship or marriage. It's needed. You can't just be one sided, but you have to be a leader. You have to be a leader. But when you're a man and you're a leader, you're gonna have these people that you still gonna have to compromise with, or you
You
ain't
know, a
human.
guy told you know a guy told me years ago. He said anything with more than he said anything with two heads or more is a monster. And so the
I think
idea was somebody's gonna have to lead,
Right.
but and the man's gonna have to lead, but the man is not gonna have to lead by dominance. He's gonna have to lead by example. He's
Yep.
going to have to lead in a way that the woman has no problem following, and she trusts his judgment and what he's doing because she knows he has her back, her front, and the sides, and he has the family's back, front, and sides too. If he don't have a he doesn't have a plan for him, then and I'll tell you something real quick. When my wife and I met, I was running a business. Okay, I owned a company, and I told her, and I said I was changing to a different business, and so I said, but let me show you. I don't want you to just take my word for it. I don't want you to just believe in me because I can talk the talk or because I say I have a plan. Let me show you. The woman has a right to know and to be shown. Men, a lot of times men want the woman to just blindly um trust them. Now here's the other element, because I think this is important, Crete. A lot of women want the man to have everything in place, but those same women who want the man to have everything in place usually don't have half the stuff in place that they want the man to have.
Amen.
So what if the man uses the same standard and says, okay, the woman says, okay, I want him to have a car, I want him to have a house, I want him to have a job because this is what my mother taught me that a real man has. Okay, and I want him to have make a certain amount of money or do this to have a plan. Okay, what if the man that's fine, but what if the man says, I want you to have a house, I want you to have a job, I want you to have a car, I want you to have a plan. I want you to have a bank account. What if the man wants the woman to have everything that the woman is wanting of the man? See, then it becomes a problem because the woman's been taught a double standard. The man should have all that and have it ready for her. So my thought is this. Okay, there are a lot of women and men out there there are a lot of women out there who want the man to have these things. Okay, but think of it like a car. The smallest part of the car that's most important is the key. So what if the woman is the key that unlocks the potential of everything that they can both have together? But if she's so busy looking at that she wants him to have it walking in the door, what about her realizing that she might be the key to him getting it? And then them building it together. And then it's really theirs, not his that he brought in, or not hers that she brought in, but theirs. So I always think about the key because the man can be the engine, the man can be the transmission, the man can be the drivetrain, all that. The man can be the fuel injection system. But you know what? As small as the key is, that car doesn't go anywhere without that key. And my wife is
can
a
I say
key.
something real quick?
Go ahead.
I think what you said earlier is a good point. You have to have respect for each other. If you have respect for each other, then that's things fall into place, don't you think?
They
Well,
do, and you
you
know what? You
definitely
know
have
what?
to have respect. I mean, why you shouldn't even be in a relationship, let alone a marriage with someone who you don't respect. You see what I'm saying?
But
It'll never
Exactly.
make it.
Yeah.
A friendship doesn't even make it without respect.
Crete, you know what
Yeah.
I see, and you probably see this too. I see
Mhm.
women, and this is not all women. I see women talking down to men, and I see men taking it. Like I said,
Hey,
I don't spend time on the
you know what?
sofa. I don't
Let
spend
me say
time
this.
in the doghouse because I'm not a dog. Wait, let me say this. Let me see, Shimmy. Please. I don't spend time in the doghouse because I'm not a dog. I don't spend time on the sofa because I'm not sleeping on the sofa. If we cannot resolve it and you just don't want to sleep in the bed with me, then you go sleep on the sofa. But I'm going in this bed, the king size bed, and I'm going to sleep. And I hope we can work it out. So my point is, I see a lot of men. A lot of men have been broken too. A lot of women look like the woman. They realize, or they want us to realize that they struggle and they've gone through single motherhood. They've gone through divorces, abuse, and all that's true. I don't deny that. But a lot of men have struggled as well, whether it's child support and them trying to take the man's driver's license, or just being the man, or being an African American man. This is not excuses. This is just what men go through every day. And I don't think women really have a good understanding of just how much some men or many men go through. So there's no empathy there. It's like what? So when the man comes to the woman and says, "Look, you don't understand what I've been through, what I've been dealing with. You don't understand the pain I'm feeling. My job trying to fire me. You know this chicken head from the strip club keep calling me, and I shouldn't have gone there anyway. You know, and spent the money. You know, etc." The woman's response a lot of times is, "Well, you don't understand what I went through." See, there's no empathy there to where she can actually be that calm. Remember, she's the nurturer. He's not. So he's going to her for that nurturing, but she's because she's hurt or she's disgusted about what he did or because she's frustrated, she's firing back at him. Well, what about my day? What about my day? I had a rough day too. And the man's been through hell times 10 that day, just even trying to keep his job. But he needs that empathy. He needs that compassion. He needs to be heard too. He needs that understanding. He needs that men, men, we're logical, we're rational, we're supposed to be strong and silent, yada yada yada, all that. But we still have those feelings. We don't have the same kind that you all do, ladies, because ours is testosterone, connected, not progesterone or estrogen. But we have those feelings, and the way we express it sometimes it's through frustration. But women got to recognize the signals, like the brother Shimmy started off early in the conversation talking about men do communicate. Maybe the women need to understand that our communication is different, but that we're still communicating. Because I know if I come home and I'm frustrated, my wife automatically knows I'm reaching out to her. She already knows. She knows that she's not the reason I'm frustrated. It might be some knucklehead, and Crete knows what I'm talking about. It might be some knucklehead that's giving me a hard time because we both run businesses. Okay, but she knows I'm not even if I'm grouchy, she knows I'm not targeting that at her, and she knows how to step up with the part of her that I don't have in me, that she can do what she can do toward me. And that's the comfort part, that's the empathy part, that's the consideration. That's not the come back at me with, "Oh, my day been hard too, what do you think, I had just as hard of a day as you." That's that competition again.
And that's funny you say that because it happens. That's how it happens a lot of times. But that's where a lot of the females, because that's not a woman, get out of hand. Like you looking for some compassion, some encouragement, but then she turns and now it's you and her battling. It's not supposed to go like that. If you're going to come over there and try to encourage and bring them up, you have to be coming with thick skin because he might say something crazy and you're going to have to kind of ignore it. Just like sometimes she may say something crazy and you as a man don't get in your feminine and start going back and forwards. I know, it's just too much sometimes. So, I mean, you're absolutely right with that. And then Miss Marla had a question. Miss Marla said, do you all men, or rather say, do all men believe in 50-50?
I don't
I
know
wanted
all
to ask a
men.
question first.
Can we answer hers? I don't know all men, so I can't answer that. But I can tell you what I believe and what a lot of men I know believe and what I share with other men, young men on up to. Because I got sons in there. I got a son who's in his early 30s and a son who's in his mid 20s, and I share with them that it's gonna be 100, 100. If you're gonna do 50-50, you holding back 50% of yourself. I'm all in. Now I'm a winner. Now I'm a winner. And some people do that for safety reasons. I'm not judging people. My point, they do that for safety reasons. They do that because they've been in bad relationships before and they put all in.
I
They got
said that.
burned.
Right.
But
I
my
said
point is, I'm ride or die. I'm ride or die, baby. I'm all in. So if I get broken because of that, then hey, I just do. But my parents were all in, and I'm all in. My wife's parents were all in, and she all in. And so I think when you hold back a part of yourself, you're holding back the potential for what the relationship can become at its peak or in the first place. That's my thought.
and here's another thing that you got to look at when you speak 50-50 or 100-100. I don't do neither one of them, but I can't say
Mm.
100-100. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I'm saying 100-100, if you're gonna be a woman, you're gonna bring yourself, your best self. You're gonna know your role and do what you got to do. Same thing for the man. I'm gonna bring myself. I'm gonna do what I do and do what I'm supposed to do, And that's it. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna mess up just like you're gonna mess up too. But I mean, you just do what you got to do. That's it. I know my role. You know your role. Do your role. Do your duties. My cousin hate when I say duties, but you know what I'm saying.
Duties,
It's
duties.
okay for women to say, or I ain't talking about y'all. My cousin would always. It's okay for her to say duties for men, but it's not good for men to say duties for the women. Go ahead,
I
Shimmy.
want to say something. Now, Marky Mark, how I run my household, if I was married, nine times out of 10, I wouldn't even be on a relationship podcast. If I'm married, I wouldn't be on a relationship podcast. But being that I'm single, we get to just bounce ideas off each other. I'm thinking, when I first joined the podcast, it's all singles here. We just bouncing stuff off each other, singles. Hey, what you experience? What's your take on something? How you feel about something? What's your experience? Your culture. We pretty much share the same cultural interests. So my thing is, if I did join and had a wife, and if she came on the show coming at you about how you feel, how you think, then I would look at, like you said, a reflection. But I'm trying to figure out, how come is that a man would let that happen? A real husband would let that even happen? I mean, because I cannot see me at the grocery store and a husband and wife at the grocery store. Because this happened the other day at my leasing office. I was in there signing my lease, and this girl, long story short, she kind of came at me, and he had to eventually, he didn't get right to it, but he had to eventually push her out the office. I mean, how do you let your woman go at a man, a completely stranger? You think you know them, but you don't really know that. You don't really know that man. And for a woman to step out of line away from her man and come at another man just because of the way he thinks, the way he feels, I question that man. I
Yeah,
question him, because I'm like, are you the alpha? Are you the leader? Because there's no way. There is no way my wife, my daughter, my sister, there's no way any female around me will be talking sideways to another man because of his opinion, or because of his beliefs, or because of how he was raised. I'm not going for that, because you don't even want them type of troubles.
right,
You don't even know what he's been through. See, I know what a man been through, because I'm a
right.
man. So it just baffles me. I'm going on and on, but it just baffles me how a husband can sit right there and let his wife come for another man that she don't even really know. It's like, we're bored tonight. We're not going to the movies. We're not going to eat. Let's get on the show and beat up on Shimmy. Really? That's what you got to do. I can, trust me. If me and my wife, we're not going on the show. We're going to the movies. We're going out to eat. We're going to this. We're going to do that. You're not getting on the show. I'm telling my wife, you're not getting on the show to be up on a single man that's 51 years old, that has his own ideas, and he may not want to get married. So why are you so interested in Shimmy instead of just enjoying the show? There's no way that I would let my wife come on the show and question another man, a 51-year-old man that has seen, because you haven't been married, you haven't seen nothing. Really? It
All
just
right,
baffles me.
all right. Hold on one second. We have Di Smith Senior said some don't know their role. You got these mamas, boys, and then you have these women with masculine energy.
Yep.
Thank you, Di, for that. And that's a lot. It's a lot of that going on, but a lot of times that's because they have not seen that man work in the household. You understand what I'm saying? They haven't seen the role of a man. So, and they're raised in a feminine way. Big Sis said, Marky Mark, it's grown folks being grown, ups doing grown up things. When you get married, you need to know how to surrender some things and work together. And I'm catching up on some comments, y'all. Miss Marissa says some men take advantage of good women. Miss Marla said, true, Marissa, same thing for women. That's true. And again, that's where everybody has to know their role and be fair with one another. Um, then shouts out to Goldie in the building. Said, well, amen. And some men do that to women as well. Miss Marissa also said some women and men want their cake and eat it too. And they, what do you mean, Marla? Hold on. Shouts out to my son Willie Bars in the building. Good to see you, son. And Willie Barr said to Marissa, women or individuals in general have to allow someone to take advantage of them. Oh, I didn't even know my cousin was in the chat section. What's up, sweet cousin G? She said duties and responsibilities. There she go with the duties. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on.
Good evening.
Heard something. Cousin done heard something. All right. So okay. So all right, hold on one second. Let me so and also what's up, cousin? Miss Marla also said, I don't hear an excuse about women or men taking their frustration on their partner. And then Miss Marla also says some women or men haven't grew up in two-parent households. And that's very true. You can still grow up in a two-parent household and not be in your right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? It can definitely happen. Everybody always don't they're not unable to grasp that gift that they're given, but also the parents may not be hitting on anything too. They just could be two parents in the house.
Yep.
Um
Hey, Crete.
yes, sir.
Can you address the issue of double standards?
Absolutely. Do you guys think that double standards is good, whether being on the man part or the woman part? I'm gonna ask my cousin. She fresh on the show. What do you so double standards?
Excuse me.
Can you gain respect or have respect for a man that's living by double standards?
No, you can't
And why is
follow something that you're not following as far as double standards. You say one thing, but then you are the same person who's indulging in those. We have people talking about, oh, you're supposed to be faithful, you're supposed to be true, but then they're the main people out here cheating and having other relationships with folks. It could go for men or women. There's always been a double standard, and a lot of people that's commenting, they're in non two parent households raising children not with the original parentage. So you have people who are in different relationships, and they talk about, oh yeah, two parent household, but then they're the main ones who are not raising their children in the original household.
okay? And Yummy
I got a
Gummy,
question.
no double
I
standards. And also, hold on one second, and said
Okay.
that's a do as I say, not as I do situation, and that's no good. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, Shimmy.
It was me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
I was I guess let me give you a scenario. Okay.
Mm,
This is what happens I've seen in a lot of cases. Expectations. Expectations tend to fall into double standards because our society has double standards for men and women. Okay, so like for example, I want to open a can of worms, but I'll just run through these real quick. For example, if a woman decides to have an abortion, then it's this considered that the baby's body is not a body, I guess, that it's just her body. So if she decides to do that, then they say it's okay. But if the man punches her in the stomach, it's called infanticide and he can go to prison. Another example is if and that's not a moral judgment, it's just an observation. But another example is a big one is that men are expected to pay for dinner when they go out with women. And actually, I always did with my wife before we were dating because it really wasn't any big deal to me. Okay, but men are expected to do that by the woman. But if the man has expectations about the woman, since he spent 60, 70, 100, $150, then it's considered wrong. So I'm trying to figure out how people are getting these double standard expectations of where the man is expected to do one thing, but when the woman's expected to do things, it's considered wrong.
Hmm. Uh, cuz. Or you know what? No, no, no. We about to wake Miss Christina up.
Okay, she always on here asleep.
All right, Miss Christina, answer that question. I mean, we need a rebuttal here.
Well,
Don't worry
I
about it.
think
Don't,
I get
Christina.
what you're
Don't.
saying about abortion and what.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Christina. What'd you say?
Oh, I said I get what he's saying about the abortion and um. I mean, I'm pro life, so I don't really want to talk about it. But the other thing that you said, I think sometimes the women should pay for the meal.
Okay. All right. When do you think that time is? When do you think that time
Excuse me.
is right for her to pay for the meal?
I mean, maybe you could take turns, like every other time you go out.
Okay. All right. So, have, how about sometimes? And this is simple, and women do this. I've seen it happen. Whereas, um, whereas they just all of a sudden say, "Hey, I want to take you out." I mean, I think that's the nice thing to do to show appreciation to your mate.
Can I clarify a little more?
Sure.
Let me expound on that example a little bit. Let's
Hmm.
say the man, and I've seen lots of cases of this. Okay, the woman says, "Okay, you want to date me. You want the woman. This is a woman talking. You want to date me. You want to get to know me. So you should take me out, and you should pay for it." And if the man says, "You know what? Tell you what, if I should pay for dinner and you expecting me to spend my money, guess what? And that's my money, just like it's you and your body. I expect you to sleep with me and give me some." Now I'm giving you a kind of a stringent example to illustrate the point. But
Hmm.
my question is, when does it become a double standard, or when does it become wrong for somebody to have expectations of one person, but they don't want to bring any expectations into the room? I mean, they don't want to bring anything to the table or in the room themselves. That's my question.
Right.
Even swap, no swindle.
I'm not going there on that.
Now, Yummy Gummy said, hold on, let me catch up. No double standards. Nope, I don't. I know some people does though. I know some people does.
And I'm not paying your car note if I'm not married to you. I'm not getting your hair fixed because it's not my hair and it's not my car.
Probably ain't that hair either. I mean, come on, let's keep it real.
Yeah,
Um,
but hey, Crete, you know what happened today, right?
what happened?
You know what happened today of that situation with that lady who approached me.
You remember I caught the tail
And
end.
yeah, but the thing is, the lady approaches me at a place of business where I was there doing business, not trying to do her. And she came at me hard. And I'm not saying that to say I'm all that. My point is that she came at me so hard. I've never seen a woman come at me that hard. I don't know if her hormones were through the roof or what. And she said, "Look, I'm a widower. My husband just died last year." Well, you ain't waiting long. But she said, "Look,
Right.
why don't you let me ride on that motorcycle with you right now? Or why don't you bring what I'm buying to my house? Then you'll know where I stay. Or where And I told her I was married. Some that doesn't dissuade some people. But my point, men or women, but my point in respectively. But my point is that she was coming at me already, like I need some. What did she tell me? She said, "I need some perfume because I'm applying to be a flight attendant and I want to smell good. So you need to meet me at the mall and buy me some perfume." First of all, I'm married. Second of all, if I wasn't married, I don't know you. And third of all, why are you expecting me? Don't spend my money for me because I'm not married to you. Yeah, it is my money. So don't spend my money for me. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're dating a guy, don't. Well, ladies, if you go to a restaurant with the guy, eat your food, or at least if you don't want the rest of it, have the courtesy to take it home. Even if you're gonna throw it away when you get home, at least try to make the guy feel like he didn't just waste $100 because you picked over your food and you didn't even eat all of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
if the guy says, you know what, I'm never taking you anywhere for dinner again. From now on, we're just going for drinks or for dessert because you don't finish a meal when I paid $100 for it. Then you get mad.
Mm.
Am
Can
I
I
right?
say
Uh,
something?
Go ahead, Miss Christina.
Years ago, my uncle said he took somebody on a date and they ordered a salad but ate all his food too.
God damn.
and
Wow.
he just sit
And
there and
that
let him
happens.
eat it. He
Yeah,
let him eat
that
it.
happens. Yep.
Yeah, he went to the bathroom. He came back and she was eating his food.
Oh.
Bruh.
Hey, Creek.
Huh?
That's like this. Before I knew my wife, I met this lady and we went out, and I should have known because she was staying in somebody's basement, right?
Mm.
And I'm not
Hmm.
picking anybody in case they're staying on this in somebody's basement in this podcast. But something was strange about that. But
I was
I got
looking for a basement.
we go we go to where you want to go to dinner. She want to go to Arby's. Okay, better for me, right? You don't have to go
Hmm.
to the sundown room or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the first date and we ain't going past Red Lobster. We not. Okay. So I'm not going to Crystals, but we're not going past Red Lobster. We're not going beyond Red Lobster. Okay. So she wanted to go to Arby's. We went to Arby's. She got, I kid you not, she got 4 big sandwiches. She didn't just get four
Bruh.
sandwiches. She got 4 big ass sandwiches. And I said, uh, I thought she had ordered for me. She got like 3 fries things and 2 drinks and all that. So she taking food home for her for the next 3 or 4 days.
Did you
Now, I mean,
So
I
continue
what's
would
it?
the
have helped.
so what's the
If
problem?
you should
So
have just
so
said,
sir,
uh huh.
so what's the problem, sir?
The problem is the problem is my name is not Jose. I feed the hungry. That's the first problem. I'm not the second problem. Is not, I'm not the EBT SNAP program. You cannot stick a card in me, and just get food to come out. And
So
thirdly, I feel like men have a right to expect that the woman not take advantage of them, and that the woman is modest in what she doing. Get what you want. I'm not saying we got to do the dollar menu. You know what I'm saying?
did she get a
Some of you
second date,
women,
Mark? Did she get a
some,
second date?
huh?
Did she get a
I,
second date?
it wouldn't matter whether I got a second date or not. Is that I didn't want a second date.
No, I'm saying, did you give her a second date?
No, sir, I did not. Because I
Okay.
don't know if I could afford that or not. She should have said, take me to Wakefield or Piggly Wiggly's or somewhere and buy me some groceries. But she didn't say that. And I would have
Right.
done that. We could have gotten more groceries, more. We could have gotten groceries instead of those high price sandwiches. And those sandwiches at Arby's, we got the meat. So no, she
Bruh.
didn't get a second date. And I'm not Hosea Feed. My name is not Hosea. I knew Hosea Williams. And I've been down there lots of times to help on holidays, but my name is not Hosea. And
See,
I'm not just
j-
handing out free food, feed you, because you know what I'm saying? This is
but you know
supposed to
what?
be,
Just so everybody who don't know of Hosea Feed the Hungry here in Atlanta, it's like B Gaddy in Baltimore. And I know you heard of Hosea Feed the Hungry, didn't you, cuz?
Yeah.
All right, so it's just like you remember B Gaddy when we was growing up. B Gaddy, same thing.
Mhm.
Um, Nate from upstate said barbecue and grits. Let's go. I guess he was talking about
okay.
making barbecue and grits. Uh, Miss Marla said that's fine with me, and we can spoil each other. She's talking about. Yummy Gummy said thank you, Marky. Miss Marla also said that's not a real relationship. What you say, Mark? And
It wasn't a relationship. Oh no, no, no. It
and
wasn't
she
a
said,
relationship.
Yummy said, if she isn't your responsibility, you shouldn't be paying.
Oh,
Um,
oh.
and Miss Marla says, Sweet Mama G, can you tell Christine to sit up? She might listen to you. She was getting her Barry White on, yeah. I mean, her lower back may have hurt or something. I don't know.
Why they
Mhm.
Um,
picking at Christine? Wow. Wow.
I don't know. Yummy Gummy already told her to pull up her shirt. And Frank Tovey said, "What does that even mean? Pro-life, by definition, something lives when it's born and not before that. And if the man doesn't want a child, you cannot force him to have one. That's just wrong." And
Oh
by
yes,
the
they
way, shout out to
can.
Frank Tovey for coming in on the show. We appreciate you being here. Go ahead. Oh, hold on one second. He also said, no, hold up. What does that mean? Okay, that was it. All
Oh
right, go
yes,
ahead,
they can.
Mark.
Oh, yes, they can. It's not right, but oh, yes, they can. They can tell the man that, I've known of cases of where the woman had a child, the man was taking care of the child, the man was with the woman when she got pregnant. The man thought that it was his child. The woman gets mad and says, "It wasn't your child. I always knew it wasn't your child, to begin with." And because she was pregnant earlier than you thought, or whatever the case was. And the judge said because he signed the birth certificate, you still gonna take care of the child anyway.
I've seen cases like that, and it's super stupid.
And so, yeah, it's not right, but it happens. So that goes back to, how are we men supposed to regard unfairness? You hear a lot of women talk about inequality. You hear them talk about them being mistreated, and you hear them talking about them being men being unfair to them. How are we men supposed to regard the unfairness that we're hit with all the time?
Cuz, do you think men are being treated unfairly?
It depends on the situation. And if you want your voice to be heard, you need to get out here and put your voice out there. Don't keep talking about it, be about it. A lot of women equalities have become, people have rallied together and they've been outspoken about certain situations. But you don't have a lot of men that come up to talk about that because they either feel ashamed of what has happened and they, let these things happen to them, or they just don't want to say anything. They'll come and run their mouth to their homeboys, but they won't get out here and actually put it out there. Join men's groups. First of all, get rid of your trauma about it. And create groups. Just like everybody else did. Every group has created equality. If you want it, get it and start it.
It would be nice if that were true, but a black man in America, oh no, what you just said does not play out like that. It doesn't. So unfortunately, I've seen I used to do mediations, okay, and I've sat in courts all day, and I've seen judges tell me, you know what, sir, just shut up, sit down and shut up. I've seen judges tell men over and over again, the only rights you have in this court is the right to pay child support. I've seen men, and a lot of men right now are high fiving me because they know that it's not the equality there. Even in the old movies and the what they call the soap operas, and Crete, maybe you want to address this. My thought is, I told my sons, one of my sons is a second degree black belt, and he can hit a person and hurt them bad. Okay. I told my sons, a friend of ours who was a lady, told my sons, a man should never hit a woman. I said, don't say that, don't tell them that. When they were younger, I said, don't tell them that. You tell them that everybody should keep their hands to themselves, because everybody is equally important and everybody should have those rights and respect. If you gonna hit a
Amen.
if you gonna hit a man, men, if you gonna hit a woman, you're not being a man. But women, if you gonna hit a man, you take the chances on what you get. So my point was that everybody should keep their hands to themselves. Now, anybody who says that being fair is wrong, I don't know what to say.
I got a
Go ahead.
question.
Uh-huh.
Marky Mark. I got a question. I'm not deflecting. I'm not running off and deflecting, but it's kind of like,
Don't run. Don't run.
no,
Don't
no,
get
no, I'm
scared.
not running. I'm not running because this healthy right here. This real healthy.
Okay.
Now, even though you married, Marky, do you see what I don't know if I'm the only one seeing, because I know what the comments don't say. I know what they're gonna do. Do you see that a lot of women or females, a lot of women today or females, they have more respect for the gay man instead of the straight man?
Yeah. I think, and well, then you got to go back. We got to go back beyond. I mean, all the way back to Willie Lynch and then some. Make the woman strong, fit mentally, and she will control the. He was talking about black people, make the woman strong mentally, and then she will control the black man because the man is stronger physically. Okay, then she will, in other words, reign over him, and then your slave owners will be able to, and plantation owners will be able to sleep at night. Okay, so yeah, I mean that was what it was. That was the
I speak
indoctrination.
on the Willie Lynch letters all the time, and I'm hoping that people actually go and listen and look at it, or I mean, I'm sorry, listen to it or read it. I listen to it because they will understand themselves more. They'll
I'm
understand the people, men and women. I'm talking about of color or black people, and then you can look at it and say, "No, I need to change," because that's a programming from Willie Lynch.
I'm talking about just disrespect. Will A woman will be straight disrespectful to a straight black man and eat up a gay man,
Here's the
suck him up,
thing. Here's the
huh?
thing. In America, only in America, right? In America, the the hierarchy is this: when it comes to white and black, it is the white male, then the white female, then the black female, then the black male. That's the hierarchy of in I mean, leaving out, aside from Asians and Hispanics and everything. I'm not talking about them. Those who are here, and leaving out the Indians, the indigenous people they tried to wipe out. But when it comes to black and white, or Caucasian and African American, it is the white male, the white female, the African American female, because they believe that they can persuade her to go more along with the mindset and the ideology of that oppressive community than they can the black man. It's generally harder for it's generally hard. Let's get back to Adam and Eve. It's generally harder for an oppressive society within America to break a black man than it is to break a black woman. They will assimilate a black woman, but they will try to break a black man, and that's just the facts. And
Facts.
Let,
Now,
let me
hold on,
ask
hold
you.
on.
So let me
Di
say
Smith,
this.
hold on one second. Di Smith said Chris Rock was right about men being loved based off of what he provides. That was from the last time. Okay.
So those strong black women some of those strong black women, those alpha strong black women who have some disdain towards straight men, why don't they channel that energy and challenge that gay man to be straight? And one more thing, what Chris Rock said, it was about. I'm not deflecting. I'm not deflecting. One thing I learned something from Chris Rock with one of his stand-ups. He said the reason why you can't tell a woman nothing these days because somebody been trying to sleep with her ever since she was 13. When he said that, I was like, okay. So that
Well, that
baffled
go that
me.
go well. I guess it depends on which woman of which color you're talking about. Because when it comes to black women, that comes all the way back to um masters field hands with the guns, slipping into the barn and taking advantage of those who would be our women and our ancestry, etc. In America at least. But in reference to the women toward the gay men, they seem to relate to them more. They seem to be more empathetic to them more. And the gay men seem to gravitate toward, obviously, the women more non-sexually. Obviously, I don't know if the women feel like the men, therefore those gay men are non-threatening, so they feel more uninhibited, more relaxed with them, or what's going on. But I do know this.
Because they have female tendencies, just
Yeah,
like them, and they feel like they're getting the best of both worlds. He's
well
like a
said. Yeah,
female, but he's like a man. I mean,
right,
it's
right,
weird.
right. And the crazy thing about it is that and I'm not judging anybody for their preferences. Really, my thought on that is this: I don't want to know who you sleep in the bed with. I don't think you should get elected based on who you sleep in the bed with. That's not my business. I don't wear a t-shirt and need a parade that says I'm a blazing heterosexual, but some people seem to have need a parade and a rainbow that says that they're a flaming homosexual, okay, or transsexual or whatever, transgender, whatever it is, LGBTQIA. I've lost track of all the letters now because I think they added some more. Okay, I think it's LGBTQIA. I think that's
Plus.
the last summary that I or acronym that I ran across. But there is the you got to realize too, my brother Shimmy, the African American man. I'm not talking about the Shaka Zulu theory of sexual potency and all that. That's kind of true, but we ain't gonna go there. But the African American man has always represented a threat in America. He's always represented the African American woman has not represented that equal threat to America. And so the man who is a man becomes a problem. And whether society wants to say it or admit it or not, I'm not whining about it and complaining about it in the sense that I don't let any of that stop me. It doesn't matter who's president, I'm gonna make money anyway. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or his mama. I'm still gonna make money anyway because it's necessary. I gotta do what I'm supposed to do. Okay. I don't give them the power of control over my life like that. I don't care whether it's Trump, Biden, or Kamala or Obama come back and run again. It don't matter. That's not the point. I'm simply saying that the black man in America, who is a man, has been perceived always as a threat. So they had to break him. They had to tear him apart. They had to degrade him. They had to tear him, bring him down, and then they had to emasculate him. So while we talking about Chris Rock, I hope he hears this podcast because I love to debate him about him wearing them dresses.
Chris
The
Rock
worst
was wearing
thing
dresses.
the worst thing you can do, huh? Yeah, Chris Rock in the industry in Hollywood, and you probably know this, Creek. In the not personally, but I'm just saying, because you're a well-read person. But in the industry in Hollywood, one of the worst things you can do to belittle a black man is to get him to wear a dress.
Yeah, they
That
make sure
pulls
they
on
try to do that. Yeah,
that pulls on his manhood for money. And once you can get him to do that, there is very little that you believe you cannot get him to do. So here we go. Martin, Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, Terry Crews, Wesley
Eddie
Snipes,
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes. And I was a big Eddie Murphy fan,
Jamie
48
Foxx.
Hours. I
Jamie
just saw
Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah, I just saw the new Axel F. I liked it. I was a big Eddie Murphy fan. I was a big Blade and Wesley Snipes fan. But then they got to go and put on the dress. Okay.
Yep.
So, but look who they didn't have put on the dress. They didn't have Denzel put a dress on. They didn't have Lawrence Fishburne because he said, "Get the hell out of here." They didn't have Morgan Freeman put a dress on. The
Samuel
only
Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, man, no, I'm not doing that today. They didn't have him put it on. They didn't have Billy D. They wouldn't have asked Billy D. Williams to put on a dress.
Isaiah Washington.
I said, well, But now the idea has continued to been break the black man. And like I said, like Tupac says, that's just the way it is. So I'm not complaining that they have the power to stop me or anybody else unless you let it stop you in your head first. All I'm saying is that we got to realize we have to look at the reality of what things are. We can't deny it and just say black men are just whining and complaining or black men are making excuses. No, this is real. This is real to be a black man in America, and it's unlike anything else except the only thing people can equate that with is the Jews and the Holocaust in Nazi Germany, or the wiping out of the indigenous people like the Apaches and the Comanches, etc. in this land. There's nothing present day in America like being a black man in America. Nothing.
Now, Nate from Upstate just said something similar to that as well. Let me get his comment from off of uh, IG. He said, "American living in America. Boy, what we go through. You see what I'm saying? Let me go. Let me go right here to Yummy Gummy. Yummy Gummy said, I believe the man and women should make their choice together, but I'm pro-choice, and if I choose to have a child and the man don't want it, they can walk away."
Mm.
And
The
then
law doesn't
also
say
said,
that though. The law
also,
doesn't. She said the law doesn't say it.
yeah, because that's just like when the state takes over. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what she's saying. She's saying personally, and then like
Right.
you saying that they find a way to get in y'all situation. You know what I'm saying? So Yummy also say I won't ask for nothing because I'm pro-choice. I can choose, and yes, men are being treated unfairly in a lot of ways. Because and then she also said because gay men are just like one of the girls, right? Just like what I was just saying.
But if you're but if you are a straight strong black woman, alpha female, you wouldn't even associate yourself with a gay man. We can't play both sides, but it's a middle too. Like you say, you stand that quarter up. These strong black women that got these great careers, these Benzes, these houses, and I see them eat up a gay man, and then a hardworking man, 9 to 5, working 2 jobs, doing this, that, straight black man, and they don't have no respect for him. They kick him in the top of the head. They kick his teeth out while he's down. But the strong alpha female has got a great job, sitting over there eating up the gay man. So much respect, so much gratitude, so much empathy for him, so much understanding for him, so much grace, so much understanding. But a black man, a straight black man, oh no, you ain't getting that. You're
But
not getting that. No.
brother Shimmy, you see though that which one represents a threat to America and which one does not. You
Yes,
follow
sir.
me?
Yes,
So
sir, boss.
therefore, why attack something that's not? I'm being rhetorical, but why attack something that's not even a threat? Why does something have to be pushed? Why does something have to be pushed down that's not even a threat? You push down the threat. You push down what you're afraid of. You follow me? Whether it's
But but what baffles
and
me
and,
is
and get and get this the gay black man is not about to mate with your white daughters. You follow me? He's not.
Amen.
He's
Um,
we
not
gonna
gonna
do
be a
it.
threat. He's not gonna be a reproductive threat either. Because that's
right.
stopped in his tracks right there. You know what I'm saying?
Now let
So
me
if
let
I
me read
if
this
it,
one. The state don't automatically take over. The woman has to start the process. I've been there, and I can walk through it all, and that's very true.
Mm,
Yes, but the state will. They won't ask questions. Is what I'm saying.
yeah.
but also
They won't
once
ask.
the
They'll get straight up in there. I know that the woman has to because they don't just out of the blue say she got a baby. Who the baby father? I'm gonna go after him. I know that, but I'm just saying you're exactly right, Yummy. Once they start the process, but guess what? It's in their head that that option is there, that they can go and they say, and they use it as a threat a lot of times. And then when they use it as a threat, now the man got to be walking on eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
do you know? Can I give you an example of something? Think about this. Yeah, because you're right, and Yummy is right too. But you're talking about it at one stage, and Yummy's talking about it at the beginning stage. The state will step in and handle stuff once the woman brings them in. So yes, the woman has to bring them in, but once the woman does bring them in, oh, the state will go to town on the man,
Yep.
take his
Don't
license
ask
and
questions.
put and put him in jail. Yeah, she don't. The woman's not putting him in jail. The state is doing that. The woman's not taking his license, the driver's license. The state is doing that. The woman
Yep.
doesn't even have to ask them to take his license. They will know to do it, and they will do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And here's the
The,
crazy part too. What about okay? Let's say a man and a woman get in a fight. Okay, I'm not talking about the man abusing the
that's the
woman.
point I
I'm
was going
talking.
to make. Go ahead. I know where you're going.
Okay. I'm
Hmm.
not talking about the man abusing the woman. I'm talking about a fight. Because you know, every altercation where a man hits the woman is not the man abusing the woman. Some of those are a fight. And there are some women who will fight a man toe to toe, just like the man will fight a woman. So let's just call it what it is. She just sometimes they just lost the fight. Okay. And
Hmm.
sometimes they won the fight, hot grits. Okay. But my point is this: the man and the woman, the man and the woman get into a fight. The woman decides to drop the charges. Okay, in Georgia, in several counties, the state will pick it up and handle it. And if the woman decides to drop the charges, the state will
Going to.
prosecute without the woman. And if the
Mhm.
woman doesn't show up, the state will get the judge to hold her in contempt and will
Mm-hmm.
subpoena her. And she will want to drop the charges, but the state won't let that happen.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens often. That's
Mm-hmm.
often.
And you got to think too. A lot of what that's about, money. Can you imagine once they get that man in the system, he's going to be fighting and paying and fighting and paying and fighting and paying for years. You see
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? They keep the court systems running and just all this stuff. You go up there, it's crazy. And then a lot of times you will say, "Oh, the black man." It's like, no, there's white folks out there too. They don't care who they doing it to now. It's just got crazy. They say, you know what, we're gonna get this money.
Yep.
Because they
That's
charge
it.
for it too.
Say
And
that again. Cuz.
the child support, there's a fee attached to it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
credit,
Excellent point.
so
They're
it's a
gonna
lot.
get paid.
But the state is gonna get their money. They're gonna get it out of somebody, and they do charge a fee every month when they take their child support and give the lady the check, or they threaten her with the benefits. Your baby can't get medical assistance or food stamps unless you take the father to child support.
You're
So
right. You're right.
child be
Now,
without food, or you gonna be on his side and not take him to the court system. So they've made it looped in where it's gonna hopefully benefit the child, but it's gonna be on the other side. You can't get one without the other.
Well, the funny thing is this as well. Somebody could ask, "Girl, why did you do that to him? He was looking
Yeah.
out for you and everything, and then whatever. Why would you do that to him? Who you going to deal with now? Who's your boyfriend now? State,
Yep.
because
right.
the state is their boyfriend right now.
Yep.
But do
Five,
you see? But do you see? It goes back to what Brother Shimmy was saying. Do you see why the state is doing that? Because that man is perceived as a threat. The same reason that they incentivize the woman in the black community not to have that man in the household. She'll get more social services and entitlements if he's not in the home than
Absolutely.
she
oh yeah,
will if he's in the home. And he can
they
be in the home working a minimum wage job and still trying to do right. He got the goal because she ain't getting those benefits while he's there. Period.
by design. They hook it up
Yep.
by design. It's crazy. So, man, it's been a show. It's been a show. It's a lot of fun. And a lot of knowledge, a lot of talking points and everything. And I really appreciate everyone showing up every week like family, and we're going to keep this going, and the show is going to continue to grow. And the family is going to continue to grow. And at this moment, actually, we're going to be ending off like really soon here, and I actually just want to send them shout outs. And if you can help me as well, cuz we had some new people in there. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to
Where you
Brian Martinez.
where you
That
read?
from the list.
Oh, okay. So
Shout
it's
out to Nate from Upstate. Shout
over.
out. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Frank,
cuz.
thank you for coming on. I think your name is Marky Mark. Thank you, Shimmy Pop. Thank you so much for coming in. Yummy Gummy, Miss Marla, Miss Marissa, Christina. I saw brother-in-law earlier, cousin Leslie. Is that Willie Bars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
Because
no, that's Craig, and then Willie
oh,
Buzz. Go
his
ahead.
name, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. So thank you for coming in, Willie Bars, Brian Martinez, AVSNX. I don't know what that's supposed to be. So thank you for coming in with all those letters are. We appreciate you as well. Mary Martinez, Heather Lukeman. Let me see. Too slick for them. Okay. Nate from upstate. I'm on my phone, so I'm not on my laptop. It's kind of harder to be on the phone. And thank y'all for coming in. Thank you,
It's
Mr.
a lot clearer.
Yeah, it's clear. You know the iPhone. But thank you, Mr. Marky Mark, for your wealth of knowledge and y'all main talk today.
We
I
had
did.
the testosterone in the building.
Yeah, Miss Leslie was on as well. Christina, who need to turn her camera up. But thank y'all for coming in for the Street Tactics Media Group for all the shows on Wednesdays and Fridays, no matter what time they come on. We have a plethora of individuals who come in. Miss Christina say, why does it matter if I sit up or lay down? I'm not a child and won't be treated as such. Can I say something because it looks inappropriate? as a woman. It just look inappropriate. It's like it's just inappropriate. You don't see me lounging, never. But it just look inappropriate that you always lean down. That's not what the podcast is about. And it's your choice, and it's our choice if Crete don't put you back on the screen. Because if I had control, you wouldn't have been on. And there's no shade. It's just appropriateness as a woman. I'm not laying out or slouching down across my bed. I saw y'all because I'm like, there's no notification on YouTube today. But I'm not lounging and slouching. I'm on vacay. So I don't have my bonnet on, all those sweet things. Whether you're on a laptop or not, it doesn't matter. It's an appropriateness. Nobody else is laying down. And as a woman, you want to have a better perception as yourself. But that comes with wisdom and time. You haven't grown to that as of yet.
Yeah, Ms. Christina, I haven't said anything. We appreciate you being on, but next time, definitely try to sit up, because you got to remember, you're a reflection of somebody, your kids.
Well, before that, yourself. And if other women were trying to give you suggestions, it wasn't reprimand you like you're a child. It's just telling you just to look at yourself as a lady, as a woman. Especially this is, social media. I don't thing on here. I don't look like everything. I'm not laying down. So just appropriateness. I mean, they just giving you advice, not
Hey,
like a
I,
child.
I know I know why Miss Christina be laying down, because she be trying to deflect to them ED questions and them sex toys and them, bedroom questions and all that. That's why she be laying down, because it just be preparing her to go there. You know, yeah, yeah. That's why she be laying down
And
with the
then
necklace day on and the
and
halter top on.
I'm not being mean. If you want to do all that, get your own podcast. Equipment is cheap, and you can lounge it out, get your clientele up, whatever you want to do. You don't have to come on, but we're glad that you're here. But that's just if other women are giving you suggestions, and I'm not your mother or trying to tell on you. We don't have to put anybody on the screen. Remember, your name is Roland. You were not there. No street tech. We will be okay if you don't come on. We appreciate you, but we're not trying to reprimand a child.
Yeah, and it's about to be a rule. You know what I'm saying? That showing the show respect. You know what I'm saying? That's everything. Show the show respect, and that's one way of doing it. Because when you show the show respect, or rather show yourself respect first, and then show the show respect.
Because it's
So
show come on. It doesn't matter. I just popped on. I flashed off my bonnet and my little whatnots that y'all don't need to see, and I'm appropriate. Come together. But it's just appropriate as a woman. But again, that comes with wisdom and age. And my hat 3+. Yeah. I just never done that. So it's just a word. You like I said, you don't have to listen, but you won't be on the train. And we're not picking on you and all that. It's just y'all, some of y'all just lay down, it's like whatever. It's just but y'all always pop y'all tail on to be on, which is fine. On front to the screen, but I
she
just like
said she got wisdom, cuz.
girl. I'm gonna let you keep that tonight because I don't feel. I'm gonna let you keep that. You're entitled to your opinion. So and Wiz, I'm done.
She got wisdom, man. She's just trying to tell you she got wisdom,
Now,
right?
good night. No, I'm being nice. A little late.
Hey, hey.
You better ask.
After this show, I'm a 5, because I feel comfortable knowing that if I ever get married and my wife wants to come on the show, I'm not gonna be letting her beat up on another single man that believes what he wants to believe and beat up on his experience that he has. She's not gonna do that. So I feel real good about that tonight.
And I appreciate you saying that, Shimmy, and that's so wonderful. And people have to understand. If people don't come on, we don't talk. Well, where's Shimmy at? That's your business. Where Sweet Mama is, where the business Crete at, where his business with time. But people have to know if people get in relationships or they get involved or whatever. I'm not necessarily going to be on here talking certain type of topics out of respect for my relationship. I may not come on there because I might got a boo and I got things to do on Friday nights. So that's my business. But people have to understand that it's a respect factor. And whether I'm with somebody, I'm not gonna tell all my business because it's not for
Thank,
y'all.
Thank you, Miss Christina. We appreciate that. We will appreciate it as well.
Oh, bless your heart. Wisdom. So coming from 9 to 11 next week. We're gonna get a time frame.
Yeah, we come on at 10. Hopefully we can bring
Uh,
Mark back. You know what I'm saying, Mark? If you got the time, brother, we you know what I mean? We here.
I said
I'll make sure I hit you up
Wednesday. Rap show.
Wednesday. Oh yeah. The Wednesday rap show, I gotta see if we have a double header. As a matter of fact.
From what
Before
we need
before
time
huh?
frame, sir, 9:30 to 11, 9:30 to 3:30 in the morning. Like, what's the time frame?
we
Hey,
we're gonna come on at 9. Miss Christine, I just feel like people wasn't paying attention to the show more worried about me. Like always. She was the center of attention. That's what she's saying with wisdom.
I'm about to go. Things to do. I ain't got time to play with her. I got things to do.
Hey, Crete, Crete, can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Was the premise of your show ever to be hooking up people? Or
I
or,
mean,
or, or, or let me ask. Okay, was it the premise or the plight or the narrative was ever to be hooking up people, or it
yeah,
was singles to get the?
we have the blind date show, right? But shout out to Young Gypsy. And it's funny that she pops on.
Girl.
It's funny that she pops on because I was getting ready to end the show off. I was going to surprise Sweet Mama G, and we was going to end the show off with Young Gypsy song.
I already downloaded her song, so I don't need to hear it. We ain't gonna be inappropriate. That's a Wednesday night.
See?
Originally, Shimmy, if you go back a little over 2 years, it was 4 of us. So we had what are you for real though? What was the name of the show?
Yeah, are you free? It was a really honest rap
Are
show
you
that came on at 9 o'clock
8:30,
sharp.
8:30 to 10 o'clock. Then we did the
Right.
second show, Are You For Real Though? Right behind it. So we did from like 11:30 to 8:30 to 11 on a Friday. 2 shows in one night, which was great. Perfect. Knock it out. To me, I just not equating in my schedule. Then Crete went to Monday quickie for me. We were supposed to be doing half an hour quickie, 2 hours. And then Crete and I had a moment of silence with each other. So that's when he created conversations with Crete and whoever else. Oh God, what was it called? Equation girl. Miss what was the girl name? The real thing girl.
Real thing, girl.
The Caucasian girl you had on here for a while that was trying
What's her name? Chelsea.
Chelsea, which did work. Then he had the girl that tried to hit on me in the DMs that sell the smoothies in Georgia. Who he
She tried
tried
to hit on you, cuz.
I couldn't think of her name. And then we came back
I forgot her name. Eleanor, or it was like an old school name.
something. And then we came back with the conversations minus the other 2 people that we had on here. Then it became the Missouri group asking for people to hook them up on dates. That's how that became.
Okay.
So it was a blind date show.
I have a
So if
question.
y'all know anybody looking
But
for
But we wasn't just doing blind dates. We had my friend Angela who did real estate and marriage and equity. We had what was the freaky lady that had the picture? The lady I can never think of. She's somebody you know from Baltimore. They had the whips and chains picture, but she came on looking different.
Dale.
Yep, her. We had Saram from Talk My Rep
Body Symmetry.
and Men's Health. We had a couple different people, and then it branched off. The people was asking for blind dates,
I
and
have a
that's
quick.
became blind date. All of it, every blind date was a disaster.
I have a question. Is it a blind date if you can see what they look like?
No, they weren't first. Only once they
Oh.
said hey, they want to talk to you, then we'll cut them on the screen.
Yeah,
Oh,
they'll
and
be
what?
talking. It was blank screen, and then they see if
Oh,
they like each other through words or whatever. We remember the one show, cuz when the dude I had
Oh,
asked,
your
so
friend. Oh, you always bring these straight people from your motorcycle, your bike shop. That was
it-
After he said he drugged the woman up to get her poon
Yeah,
out.
he said he'll pop some pills for us so he should get some
These
pills.
was young people. These was people in their 50s. So we're like, what you talking about? You can't say that. What are you talking about? So it's been a disaster.
What's the topic for the next show?
It always pops up at last minute, but you know, I've been to talk to you by then, Mark. Shimmy doing the chin up.
all the is my God. So I talk to him every day, 100 times a day. He's my god brother.
She might be asking for a reason.
He's definitely not arrested.
He might be. Hey.
No. Absolutely not.
So anyway,
cream with two people on there. He cream.
So anyway, shouts out to everybody that was on TikTok. Shout out to everybody that was on Instagram, and definitely shout out to everybody who was on the actual show live on YouTube
and Facebook.
Yes, and Facebook. We shout out everybody. It's all love. We appreciate y'all, and we're gonna show a little love to young Gypsy again as we step off.
Say young Gypsy with your internet together.
Yeah, she's gonna come back on. They're setting her up with a new interview.
Okay.
So she'll be able to come back on. Meanwhile,
yep.
You ain't got to lie. Don't get mad at me, shorty. Give him right back. You ain't got to lie.
Pull up in the Benz and the rims all black. Pull up in your mans with my ass so fat. Booty so big, me the tick go tack. When you hit it like crap, make it bounce like that. I think he addicted. Bottoms up, I'm lifted. He say that I'm gifted. Pay for this pussy, now he evicted. They say that shit crazy. Krishan took his baby, but I'ma do it worse. I'ma come for you first, cause you act like a bitch, no late. I'ma go hard when I ride this dick. Your bitch find out, now she throwing up fit. She asked all these questions, I ain't giving her shit. She mentioned my name again, nigga. You ain't got to lie. Who did that? Who, me? Take your fucking man like ba-ba-ba. You ain't got to lie. Big body dance, aka Young Gypsy. Pussy so good, make a rude boy miss me. I like my chicken like my man real crispy. I dispatch what makes you think you could diss me. Tell them bitches don't play with it. Your girl got just be okay with it. I'm here to tell the truth, no shame in it. You see me in the room, no shade in it. I'm a combination and a chilling compilation of all the vibes before me. People hate me now, but watch later on they adore me. I don't really want to hear anything else but sorry, but I don't have no grudges, I just take it up the Maury. FNF status, the vibe, that's where the glory at. You see I'm the baddest alive, my shit euphoria.
You ain't got to lie.
shout out to Young Gypsy was in the building. She'll be back on a interview. So we are out, everyone, and we appreciate everyone for coming through. TikTok, shouts out to y'all. Instagram, shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to Facebook. Shout out to YouTube. And it was good to see you, cousin. Good to see you, Shimmy. And it was good to have Mark on. And shouts out to everybody. I think we got Yummy Gummy and it was Heather, Lukeman, everybody. Shouts out to them and Brian Martinez, everybody. All right. We are out. Oh, Shimmy, I got that mix. I've been driving around with the mixer the whole time.
I'm there at the restaurant tomorrow.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see how I'm looking tomorrow, and I'll try to link up with you.
Come get you a prime dip.
Okay, you the man. You the man. All right. I'll hit you up tomorrow and let you know what's going on.
All right.
Okay. All right. Later. Hold on. Why cuz gonna hit me? Go ahead, cuz. Go ahead, cuz. All right, y'all. We are out.